Hello, everyone. Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. How's everybody
Hey,
doing?
good.
I started this like if I was doing a video, but this is a live show. This is different. This is different intro.
Oh God, we're live. No.
We are, we are live still. They haven't. YouTube has not taken off as the over the air.
Oh,
It's
just
really
wait till
trying.
Zuck rolls out his YouTube competitor.
Yeah, this is gonna be called Screen.
That's a solid idea,
That
actually.
is. You know what? Let me go make that. Let me go
Yeah,
register that.
right. We'll be right back, everyone.
We'll be right back. Yeah, all of you, two people watching.
I'm gonna say Leonard Kim's in the audience.
I'm sure eventually we just need to start talk. You guys just need to start having hot takes about good shows, and then Leonard Kim
About
will
good shows.
That is.
Yeah, of course. So on today's show, we're gonna talk about some of the news that are out there. There's a lot of news happening.
Great DC news.
Yeah, TV, movies, comic books too. Like there's some really surprising stuff.
Mhm.
But before that, last time we were live, we had so much stuff to talk about that we didn't even finish. So we're just gonna start with that, and I think there's some new stuff, of course, that we've seen since then. But we'll get into all that. Clay, why don't you kick us off?
I'm really digging the Groot comic. Are you guys reading Groot at all?
No.
It is an early story of a young Groot with two other baby trees. So it's when he was younger. This is a part of his history. So they're going back in time and telling this early story. And so we get two new tree life forms. And we also get a family member of Yondu involved in the story too. And we get to see Captain Marvel become Captain Marvel or Marvel.
Marvel. Okay.
Yeah,
I was curious which one.
Yeah, so they're all in this story together because he, during the story, he has to assume the role of captain. So it's kind of neat to have all these little neat tie-ins to the story. And then there's an evil tree that is pretty much like the anti-Groot, and it's just a fun. I mean, Andy Lanning was one of the writers on the 2006 run that was very influential in the movie, and so has written Guardians, and I just love it. I mean, it's just a fun book. Plus, Groot Fall is happening in the Guardians book, which is a great story. I don't know if they're tied together; they're two different writers, but I'm digging both books. Let's see here. I picked up because I never got a chance to read the Infinity Warps that has the Arc Knight, which is in the story. Gamora gets a hold of the gems, the Infinity Stones, and folds the universe in half. So you get combinations of characters. That's how this comes together. So you get a Spider-Man who is bitten by a spider, or you get Peter Parker bitten by a spider who has
bitten by Khonshu.
Yeah, Khonshu is in the spider, and he's like, if you do
That's
this,
hilarious.
but he's also working. He's also working with Harry Osborn in it, so it's got kind of that neat twist of like the darkness of Moon Knight with the fun of Peter Parker.
Now, is this Miles?
No,
it's Peter.
Yeah.
Because I'm
during
thinking
Infinity Warps, this was just kind of a spinoff. It's a 2-issue fun, what would happen kind of thing if you want to read it, and because it's part of the Infinity Warps, if you want to read that too. But it stands alone fine, and it's
I think
it's a fun read.
I read the road to Infinity Warps was a lot better than the actual event itself.
Oh,
I remember. I was thinking of the Jim Zub story where he wrote Champions as like they go into like this fantasy world, so everybody gets like a D&D type of costume. And that was Miles, because Miles was in the Champions.
Okay.
So I think Miles is the rogue character, so he's got like a hood, and stuff. So okay. Interesting.
let's see here. Teen Titans. I mean, a lot of this I hit obviously Half Price Books this week and picked up a lot of older books. I am a big fan of Blue Devil, and this Teen Titans story brings you up to the point this was printed. The story of Blue Devil, his sidekick, because his sidekick goes looking for him, and kind of updates it. It's a Jeff Johns story. And if you're ever curious about like Blue Devil, because he was a fun character that came out in the mid 80s. And of course, in 86, when we got the Dark Age begin, because we got, the Dark Knight Returns, we got Watchmen, he was kind of out of place. And so he's slowly been evolved into a darker and darker character along the way. And I think my favorite take on it was during Justice League Dark, where he's become kind of this demon barbarian.
Interesting.
Did the original design for Blue Devil have a collar in his suit?
No, because his suit was essentially one whole piece.
Okay.
And then was, because magic pushed onto his body. Like it was essentially like it became his body. He could never take it off. And then he died multiple times and gets brought back. And because he works with demons and hell and stuff, it's a fun rotation to see. Well, because comics, he'll be back.
Right.
I feel like back then a lot of characters or new characters or redesigns had the little, like the collar, like Nightwing.
Oh yeah, I got you.
I think that the current trope now is to put him in some kind of bomber jacket. I think, like just to add a bomber jacket to your costume. I think that's the current trend of like a redesign or a hoodie.
Oh yeah, the hoodie.
Yeah.
Well, he actually in Justice League Dark looked like a barbarian. He was wearing like this vest of wool, and it was very much a different take. It was.
Well, I mean, Blue Devil is in the Danger Street comic that Tom King is writing. Is he not?
Oh, really?
I'm thinking of someone else? No, maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
I see. I
seem to recall original Blue Devil.
There you go. I seem to recall the mid '90s version where his entire costume was made of pouches.
Well, it's so funny because like I've been trying to do a video on Blue Devil forever and just can't get it together. But I looked up like at the time special effects because the story of Blue Devil was that he had created the suit to do everything. So it was like basically the suit was the star of the movie.
Oh,
because it could do all the stunts, it could take all the hits, it could do all this stuff. And so I looked up and I was like, at the time, what was the one costume that functioned as well as the Blue Devil? And it was the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Really?
Yeah, because it had animatronics and stuff, but they were remote to animate the face.
Oh,
A guy got in the suit because they built a street that he could walk on to shoot the perspective. And I always thought that was funny that our parallel to Blue Devil would be the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. What year do you think this came out just by looking at the art?
Just by looking at the Marvel logo, I'm going to say 93.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. 93.
94.
You're a graduate. 94?
94.
93. Class of 93 here. So I tend to go for that.
You
I love Jack of Hearts.
You graduated from Marvel in 93?
What?
You graduated from Marvel.
God, I wish.
I love Jack of Hearts because he's a weird character, weird costume, just weird. And I used to have his miniseries, and I can't find it anymore. I think it was lost.
Oh no,
or something. But I can't. So I've been looking for old comics with him in this, and I picked this up at Half Price Books. I got to tell you, not many pages just open up. This is the first page.
Wow.
And the whole book.
Hold it up again.
There is nothing more 90s than opening up to not just that image, but the first page is one you have to turn the book for.
Oh, you have to do it a few times. And then Jack just is like, I'm just gonna nude up. That, a chick that denies me, you know what? I'm just gonna show her the goods.
Oh boy.
And then of course it works.
Of course.
That is the beginning of this book. It is a weird, batshit crazy book that turns out like he was dreaming that whole thing, and then he comes into reality, and they fight Terax and Thanos in this. This is
And
from a
just
series called.
for our viewers, don't do that. Don't just show everybody
Yeah,
the book
right,
without,
exactly.
without asking.
Is the title of this issue Jack's Wet Dream? Like what?
No, it is just. This is from the Cosmic Power series. It's the 6-issue series, and it has 5 artists on a 6-issue series. That tells you everything.
That tells
need
you
to know.
everything.
But they even messed up Jack's suit in this because they've changed it, and so it's
Weird.
now more of like this kind of space suit, which I do not dig.
He
I know.
is kind of a cosmic character, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he
He
did.
was at that point.
Yeah, he did
Was
become
he
a cosmic
always?
character.
Because Jack of Heart is one of the so weird.
Those leg muscles.
That's I mean, my God. It's like cauliflower. I
just look at. I go. She needs at least a sports bra to fight.
she's she's only being supported by Jack's will at that point.
Oh.
No, Jack of Hearts is one of those weird ass characters I discovered way back when the God, what was it called? It was the complete encyclopedia of the Marvel universe.
Oh yeah, it was just. I thought it was the Marvel handbook. The handbook.
Yes,
of the
yes,
Marvel
that's it.
universe.
And I was obsessed with those. And I only had sporadic issues, but I had the issue that Jack of Hearts was in. I think it's the same issue with Hobgoblin, because they were all lettered, right? So, and I would just read that back and forth, and you just got these like 1 or 2 page like synopses of. I mean, it literally was every character who'd ever appeared in any Marvel comic. I wish they would put those back in print, or at least digitally.
I have seen updates to them every so often.
They put them back in print, but now they're out of print again because I've gone and tried to track them down, and I can't find them. Now, I say that I'm going to look on Marvel Unlimited and see if they're on there, but I don't think they are because I love those books. They were so much fun.
Yeah, this makes me want to get the rest of the series. As bad as it sounds with 5 artists on
Sounds
6
really
books,
bad.
I want to see. But what's really cool is you see Jack of Hearts can fight Thanos. He has almost like the same level power as Iron Man in this book.
Man, well, which issue does he fight Silver Surfer in? Because you know that's going to happen.
Oh yeah, I forget, but it's one of the covers.
I knew it. So
oh man, I hate that it's so bad that I want it, but I mean, Jack of Hearts. Really probably what the best Jack of Hearts story is. Avengers Disassembled.
Oh,
is that? I mean,
I don't know. I've honestly never read a book he's in. I only know him from the Marvel Handbook. That is literally it.
Didn't he blow up Avengers Mansion? Wasn't he the problem? Wasn't he?
No, Avengers Disassembled. That's where Hawkeye died.
Yeah, Hawkeye died, but I thought Jack of Hearts.
Yeah, you're right because he's the one that blew up and Hawkeye died. I think so. Spoilers.
Hawkeye's seen some shit, man. Like,
listen, we all just read Secret Invasion for our book club.
Yeah,
he goes through it a lot. That's why, like, Ronan makes sense.
Yes,
I'm gonna throw that out there.
Yes.
Quick. I just want to touch on this. So, if for Danger Street, I got the wrong blue character. This is the Starman, the blue Starman.
Oh yeah,
that's part of this with
Mikhail.
Yeah, and then it's his Metamorpho, which we'll talk about later. And is this
Warlock? Issue 1?
This is in issue 1. Yeah,
I read this. This looked familiar. So that's
is this Warlock. I think that's his name.
It is Warlock. Yes.
Yeah. Which is weird because he's a warrior, not a wizard.
Right. Well, it's sort of like that He-Man thing, right? It's
he's a magical
sci-fi.
warrior.
So
yeah. All right, Josh, Clay, we'll come back because I know you got more stuff.
I got a lot.
Josh, what do you got?
I also have a lot. So I was behind.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, I was behind by 2 weeks. I hadn't even picked up my books this week yet. So this is all old shit. So I don't think this is anything we talked about already, but I'll just go through and then we can cycle around. I read a bunch of final issues that came out this week. Or the last 2 weeks. So first off, Clobbering Time. Number 5. God damn, the series is great. It's just great. It is just a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah, the first 2 issues I've read are great.
Yeah, keep reading it. It gets better and better. There is a running gag about hamburgers. I don't want to spoil, but it really all comes down to just the other Watcher guy at the end wearing a Fantastic Four robe, holding a martini. I mean,
my God,
that's just awesome.
That's giving Stan Lee.
Yes, that's
Like-
that's when Stan would go to the Playboy Mansion, right?
Oh
Like,
my God.
Well, isn't there a picture of him like in a bear rug, like the Burn Reynolds?
no, there's one of the Thing.
But he's
that's-
holding. But I thought there was a Stan Lee picture where he's holding a comic.
Covering
is
him.
it?
Cover
Yes.
himself.
Okay,
Yeah.
because
You've never seen that?
It's based on the
Burt-
famous Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds spread.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. No, I've not seen that, and none of you send it to me. I don't need
Oh,
Kids-
it.
if you think
Kids-
I'm not already looking for it, I'm gonna put it on the screen.
I was
You
gonna
don't
say,
know this
damn
film,
it.
my
yeah,
friend.
you got to pull it up. Yeah, kids.
Oh, I found
Burt
it.
Reynolds
It's
was an
very-
actor in the 70s and 80s, and
Burt Reynolds was an actor. You may know him best from
Smokey
Paul
and the
Thomas
Bandit.
Anderson's.
I mean-
Oh,
Speaking of that, Clay, when you mentioned the Infinity Gems earlier, I was gonna make a comment that it's an very easy way to tell what your introduction to the Stones was, the movies or the comics, because if you refer to them as the Stones or if you refer to them as the Gems and then correct yourself, that means that you were like a pre-MCU, knowing of the Stones,
Yeah.
because they were called the Stones. They weren't called.
They weren't called
Gems
the-
back in the day.
Well, but later there was War of the Gems. Is that when they changed the nomenclature for it? Because isn't that the Infinity Stones in the War of the Gems?
I think it's just the same thing. I'm
Okay.
trying to find a good one with good quality.
good
Oh,
quality stand.
I-
That would be-
I don't need to see all the body hair.
it's a lot
well-
of body hair.
I bet. While you search for that, Danny, the final issue of I Hate This Place, also known as Fuck This Place. It's so good. It's so good. It's my one complaint is I think with a lot of series like this is it needed one more issue. It hits in. I'm going to talk a bit more about this in a bit, but it hits that arbitrary, it's like all series now are either 5 issues or 10 issues, right? They've cut back from the 6 and 12, it seems like. And it really hurts. Like a lot happens in this last issue.
Yeah.
And even the ending itself feels a little rushed.
Is it at least oversized, or is it just a
No.
regular? No.
I don't think so. I think it's just a normal.
Yes.
Numbers.
Ow.
Oh God! Wow! I like. Okay, to his credit, I want to give him props for this. That is one of the magazine-sized issues. He's
Hey,
not holding a normal small floppy. He's holding one of the giant-sized issues, which
Yeah,
is
that's funny.
really hilarious.
He was great at marketing.
He was.
He
That
was
good.
a salesman, man. Above and beyond a storyteller, he was a salesman.
You could argue he was primarily a salesman. So, anyway, I cannot wait because this has already been optioned, right? Like it's being turned into a TV series.
I think so. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
everything is
And-
on hold right now, so
and God, probably. We'll come back to that. I hope the very final moment of this issue makes it into the miniseries because it's perfect. Anyway,
Well, hope it doesn't get canceled before that happens.
I hope not either. I know.
Because-
We'll see.
Boy, have we been there where poor Brian K. Vaughan will never see one of his series done in full.
Oh God, that's true. That was the last writer's strike, right?
Because Why the Last Man got canceled prematurely.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
And then Paper Girls got canceled prematurely. Why the Last Man was supposed to come out a long time ago, but then I think that didn't help. But
Yeah.
anyways,
All
well,
right.
it had been in development hell for a long time. Shia
Yeah.
LaBeouf was up for Yorick's role for a long time.
Sorry.
You just never know. Like
Are
You
you
know-
turning into a cat? What's going on?
Sorry, I had this visceral reaction to Shia LaBeouf. Fantastic.
That's
Yeah,
the
it was-
that's the Shia LaBeouf button on the board.
He's gonna change it to Shia.
It should be the one that says "Do it, just do it."
Do
Do it.
it. Do it. Final issue
D&D.
of Saturday Morning Cartoons D&D, which is fun. It's nice. It's just to its credit, it attempts to resolve the whole will the kids ever get back home, right? And it does it in, I think, a very nice way without disrupting any of the series, which is, I think, a tough line to walk. It's just a fun book. It's cute. It's
Who
only
wrote it?
I think for comics, that's usually the assignment, though. Like,
Yeah.
tell a story, but leave things how you found them.
Yeah, exactly. It's written by David M. Boer. The art I have confirmed is by the person that I hated doing John Carter, but it works really well here. George Kamabadius. Sorry, George, I butchered your name. Anyway, it's good. It's just a fun. If you're a fan of the old cartoon, pick this up. You'll like it. And then the last of books that ended was Red Zone by Cullen Budd, the spy thriller that I've talked about before. Oh man, it's I will say this about this book. Stepping back from it now that it's done, the story itself is kind of, I mean, it is obviously ridiculous. I've already talked about like Russian robots and like old snipers. I mean, it's a ridiculous book. It has a number of plot holes. The series is really carried by Mike Deodato Jr.'s art. That is what really just, it kind of, it's like when you have a movie or a show where the script's mad, but you get like a really good actor in it and it kind of carries it. That's what Deodato's art here does. So.
Oh man.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not bad. I bought all 4 issues. I'm really glad I read it. If you like spy thrillers, it's worth reading. It plays with a lot of, I think, just very basic tropes of the spy genre. It doesn't do anything new. So
I think Josh just described our feelings for Secret Invasion.
Don't get me started.
I do want to talk about this because I have been thinking about what you said, and it does stick with me that like we'll get to Secret.
Yeah,
We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Let me jump in.
You go
with
ahead.
Comics.
Those are all the ones that of final issues.
I like that we got to a natural stopping point in your list. Good job, Josh.
You're welcome.
I do want to show off a few things, not so much that I read, just cool things that I picked up. I've been to 4 comic book shops this week just because I've been around, out and about.
Why
So I
didn't you
picked
go
up this.
online and get my books for me?
I picked up this facsimile of
Blair.
I almost, ow, my eyes.
yeah, no,
I
it's,
almost
the Hulk
picked-
182.
I almost
181.
Yeah.
And then I also got this. Sorry, this is the last foil, I think.
Holy fuck, God! Wow,
It's hard.
how much are these foil covers now?
That's a good question. Oh boy, $5.99.
Well, that's only $1 more than usual. It's not
but
super bad.
yeah, those aren't too bad. Then I picked up this facsimile of the X-Men 101,
First
where the
Prince
Phoenix
Phoenix.
comes
Yeah.
back. I like facsimiles. I'm a big fan because
I almost
know
picked
I'll
up the
never
Doom
have 'em.
Patrol one. Did you get that
Yeah.
one?
which one?
The Doom Patrol one?
I did. Yeah, that one's. I think that was last week. So
It
I
was
don't have
last
it in
week,
here.
yeah.
And then they also reprinted Hulk 180, but this one was not in foil.
Well,
Now,
then it's worthless.
yeah, pretty much. But there are some cool covers that I'm not even talking about books that much. I did pick up this Moon Knight
Oh
25.
wow!
This is
okay.
the
That is a
Hellfire
beautiful
Gala
cover.
variant.
That is cool. I didn't
That
even
is
see
a-
that in my store.
Yeah,
That is a nice cover.
because I'm picking up a lot of these
Oh,
Hellfire Galas.
You got the one, Clay, that I really loved.
Oh, the werewolf.
The werewolf with just the green background. That's J. Jonah Jameson's son.
Yeah, well, or is it Werewolf by Night? Is it Man Wolf or Werewolf? I thought it was Werewolf by Night because it's Moon Knight.
I think it's J. Jonah Jameson's son because at least in the description that I read, that's who they
Oh,
said.
okay, yeah, because I haven't read it.
I
yet.
think I haven't read all the stories, so I think the book will tell us. They would have probably used because there's plenty of stories in there, right? So also, like, look, if you grew up, I don't even know what decade you grew up in, but I'm a big fan of this bullshit blacklight stuff.
That-
So
I think that began in the '60s with.
It began in the '60s. I would say probably for Clay and mine's generation, it was Spencer.
But I walked into the back of a Spencer store
Yes,
in
exactly.
the late 90s.
Exactly. That's when you knew. You're like, what's this weird shaped glass thing? Oh no, put that down, kid.
So these are for Night Terrors. They're doing they call it the Darkest Hour cover, but I mean, it's just blacklight. Don't
Okay,
get over
so
yourself, PC.
have you read?
I think the Jack Kirby family still sells some blacklight posters of his artwork.
Oh, dude, the Doctor Strange stuff. I bet it looks great.
Ooh.
Yeah, but Jack didn't draw Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah, it was Ditko.
Oh,
Did he? Well, did he never draw Doctor Strange? I mean, he'd be a pretty bulked up Doctor Strange. I
guess.
say.
Oh, you know what? Maybe Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer would definitely.
Silver Surfer would be, yeah.
Also, I picked up. I mean, Immortal X-Men 13. I picked up a lot of these Hellfire Gala because it's. I mean, I like to party. If you are a fan of Cypher, Doug Ramsey, you want to read this one. This is like the best Doug book I've read in years.
Really interesting.
Also, there's a really funny conversation with I think somebody was interviewing Jennifer Lawrence about like because she was promoting her new movie a couple weeks ago, like, and then what would her superpower, like what would be the best superpower to have? And they both naturally arrived at Cypher's power of like just being able to speak any language, like through their conversation, trying to sort things out. It's really, really funny.
That's cool.
Yeah. So Cypher's cool. Fuck you guys. Whoever doesn't like Cypher.
Hey, I'm not a Cypher hater.
I just love that Cypher was the odd man out of a group of mutants. Like he was
Look, I'll take Cypher over Gambit any fucking day. All right, so
that's true. This is the X-Men Days of Future Past Doomsday, the Mark Guggenheim series where he's going to explore that world of X-Men Days of Future Past.
Oh.
Is that Peach Momoko cover?
This is I think it's Emily. Oh, I don't know. There's too many artists. There's too many talented artists now. It's hard to keep up. But I mean, like I said, just Hellfire Gala stuff. I'm not really reading Spider-Man, but I'll always pick up a cover with Black Cat and Mary Jane.
Yeah,
especially if they're going to a party. Now, as far as things that I did read, my favorite thing this week was The Hunger in the Dusk. This is from IDW.
Okay.
G. Willow Wilson's writing it, and we have art by, I forget the name of the artist, Chris Wildgoose. This is like a fantasy story about when the human world, who's been at odds with orcs for like forever.
Okay.
When, the world's kind of like, there's like this famine or something. And then there's also this new threat, like another race that comes in, and now they have to work together to try to save just each other. So it's a very interesting exploration of like that unease of working with somebody that you believe to be your enemy for a long time. But I mean, the way G. Willow Wilson is very talented, and the art is magnificent.
Who's writing that? That's cool.
Yeah. I think I've only read one thing outside of superheroes from G. Willow Wilson. It's like something Kingdom.
Okay.
I forget what it's called, but it's really good. So she's of course excellent writer. And then the last thing I'll show, so we can move on to somebody else. I picked up the cover for the hardcover. This isn't foil; it's just wrapped in plastic.
Oh,
it's the collection for DC Mech by Kenny Porter and Baltimore Rivas. DC's just been doing some really cool stuff with their hardcovers. I'm almost tempted to stop picking up singles and then just wait for the collections.
Yeah.
But then they get me because they put out really cool variant covers, so I end up buying a bunch of these things twice. So that's why you got to get a pull list at your shop, kids, because a lot of them offer discounts, so you'll get a little cheaper.
Yeah.
That's about it. I read a whole bunch of really good comics this week, but you can see that on the channel. A lot of reviews. We got our oh man, I lost access to DC stuff for last weekend, and it was a pain in the butt, but we got it back.
Oh,
It was
good.
just- yeah, they were switching. Just I don't know, some technical stuff, and then everyone's really busy with like preparing for Comic Con. So like, I was emailing, and they were taking a little time to get back to me.
Well, I guess in the news we can bring that up as well. But Comic-Con's getting hit by the strike as well. A whole bunch of panels are canceling.
Yeah, Bob, it's supposed to be disruptive, Bob. That's the point, Bob. All right. Yeah. Before we get into Bob,
Before we get to Bob.
Clay, what else? Do you got any more comics, or if not,
Oh,
we
yeah.
can move on to other stuff.
Avengers 1 million BC. It's the
yeah.
part of the Jason Aaron run that he's telling. That's what I love about Jason Aaron. Like he gets all the cool toys and then just comes up with cooler stories. So in this, we get to see the Avengers from 1 million BC. The Eye of Agamotto is the Doctor Strange character, essentially. You've got Black Panther, a Starbrand Hulk, the first Iron Fist, and Odin and the Phoenix Force.
I've seen this team in something I've read, but I don't remember what.
It may have been an Avengers because he's dropped them in a couple of times.
Okay, that would make sense then. They just they showed up in the beginning of an issue or something. And I was
because
what is going on?
A Ghost Rider that rides a woolly mammoth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like he just comes up with just the coolest shit, and then all the art pays off for it.
Right.
But this retcons Thor's origin.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Thor's mom is not who you think it is.
A lot of people were not on board with that.
I know.
Mainly because Odin's a creep. Not so much who they picked as the mom. It's just because Odin is a creep.
He is a mega creep.
So he sounds more like Zeus in this case. And speaking of,
yeah, he does.
Is Thor's mom Ghost Rider's mammoth? I'm really curious.
Well, it was one of the.
You think. It's closer to that answer than you think.
Oh my god!
It's one of the names I mentioned.
Okay.
I mean, you could probably say it. It's been a long time. I don't think Josh is going back to read Jason Aaron's Avengers right now.
Phoenix.
It is the Phoenix. Okay. Wowzers.
Well,
wait. I thought there was a revelation.
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. It's Gaia.
It's Gaia, but Phoenix. But it's weird because the baby starts to die, and the Phoenix Force brings it back to life.
Yeah. It's very weird.
Gaia is also the mother of Groot. She brings that up in there, it's just a really cool character. Yeah, I got that screwed up, but the Phoenix brings it back to life.
Because when Thor in the Thor run that Donny Cates started, at some point Thor uses both the Odin Force and Gaia Force, and he looks super cool.
Anyone pick up Sirens?
I didn't.
I read it because Boom sent us one. I was not a big fan. That's why I didn't do a video on it.
Interesting, really?
Because I just didn't think. I just maybe figured it was. I also read 3 different books with a very similar premise of like a young woman kind of like being an outcast and trying to find a place to belong. And this was the 3rd one of that I had read this week.
Oh no!
And I was like, they're all very different books, but like the premise started very similar. So by the time I got to that one, I was like, so I think I'll revisit it. But what did you think, Clay?
I liked it. I didn't read 2 other books with the same premise, but it is the origin. I mean, it's the setup. So it's the idea that this woman, or I say woman, she's 16, she's pregnant, she's been kicked out of her house. And early in the book, she almost has like the word of God from Preacher. She is going to an abortion clinic, and someone's like yelling at her, and she goes, "Just go walk in front of a bus," and so he does.
Oh my god! Wow!
And then she's just like, "What the fuck?" And then it kind of puts her in that world of other people who know what she may or may not be. And what is a siren and what are her powers is kind of the setup for it.
I thought that was cool, which is why I do want to revisit it. But like I said, it just after reading 3 of the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that. That tends to flavor my response to things too when I do that.
Do you guys want to touch on Secret Invasion real quick? Because
Yeah,
because we read this for Comic Book Club, and I absolutely had a blast. And Josh brings up a great point.
well,
Captain America is killed before this starts, but Captain America appears in this book, and it's never explained why. And yes, that does suck.
Yeah, yeah. It's
it's not explained in this book.
right, and that's my complaint. Right, my complaint is the reason I didn't like this Secret Invasion is because it is peak early 2000s Marvel crossover bullshit.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, if you're going to collect the issues into a story, any reader should be able to sit down and read that story and not sit back and go, how the fuck did that happen? Right. And I
Right.
shouldn't have to go track down some other Secret Invasion tie-in Cap book to figure out why Cap, who again, the very first panel is the footage of Captain America lying bleeding to death on the steps of the building. Why he shows up at the fight at the end and it's never explained.
Yeah, and that really bugged me because it was like it should be. If you're going to collect a story, you should have everything in it. And in those early 2000s, even now, it's random that some editors will note the issue to get the reference from,
Right.
and it's not done once in here.
It should have had a little box that said, "See how Captain America came back
Yes.
in here."
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly. And would that have made it better for me? Yes, actually, because I would have known at least there was an attempt to lead me, right, to give me a little thread of connection to something else that happening. Would it made my response to the story this book was telling better? No, because it doesn't actually explain it. It's like a hot link, to something else. So
It's not Marvel's fault that you didn't mainline their comics all throughout the 2000s.
That's what they were trying to do. I mean, if you I brought up Civil War.
Yeah.
Not only has tie-in issues, but it has trade paperbacks that are formatted to all go together for the Civil War. They want you to buy a library for that one run.
But I will like, so for me, the moment is this, right? If I'm remembering correctly, and if I'm not, correct me, but I seem to remember reading just the core Civil War story. And the issue ends where Peter Parker unveils himself live on TV. That's the last panel of that issue.
That's issue 3.
Right. And then that story picks up in whatever the Civil War Spider-Man book is. But that's fine. From a story standpoint, you get the explanation in the main story. It can go off and tell something else.
Yeah.
But at least you understand what's happening in that. And Secret Invasion did not do that. And it just irked the living shit on me. And I won't go on my rant about Reed Richards and
It's a valid point, though. Reed Richards is really the guy who's dealt with the Skrulls the most and has the worst Skrull security in the Baxter Building.
It's so bad.
Bottom line.
And
I didn't even think about that. I just thought if Sue can get all the way to the negative zone,
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
And every time Civil War comes up, I remember, and I knew a person. We'll just say I knew a person that they were a broke college student at the time, so they read all of Civil War in a GeoCities website that somebody put together. I'm not saying that's okay, and they're not proud of what they did. And they buy a lot of comics now to make up for that, and pirating isn't cool.
Is this friend? I'm just
we lost touch.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
But it really was funny that somebody had put a way better way to read comics.
Yeah.
Than the company that owned it. Now, granted, there was only the one event, but it had every time, like the frontline stuff. Anything that said Civil War on the header was there in order of how you should read it. And it was the funniest part was that it was like some GeoCities website. Like it was the GeoCities domain. For people may not even remember what that is. But
I do. I do find it funny that Marvel hasn't done like a big omnibus edition of Civil War that is just like, we're not going to make you buy the 5 or 6 different, hardbacks. We're just going to do like that GeoCities site did, right?
Yeah.
You read them in this order. Here's Omnibus 1, Omnibus 2, Omnibus 3, right? And just sit and read them. So
Yeah, I even think that Marvel's website doesn't even have a good job of keeping all that together, because I've looked up stuff and it's like, oh, here's the reading order for, some stuff. But like when I'm searching for it online, Marvel's is never at the top of the list. It's usually a fan site that does a better job than Marvel's website.
The Unlimited app has now better reading lists. Like I showed you guys the Secret Invasion reading list.
yeah, right. Yeah.
That was, I scrolled like 10, 20 times. Yeah. But then again, it doesn't tell you like how important are these things to read, like too, like a little bit of context I think would be helpful.
Well,
especially for like big things like that, and they don't have to do it for everything.
Well, and to also kind of spin off of Clay's point earlier, as much as the book irked the living shit out of me, I read it like that. Like, it is an engaging story. It is a fun book. I couldn't get past these things that just bothered me so much,
There's a lot of cheesecake to distract you from the fact that it's not the best story.
There's a lot of cheesecake.
But I had fun. That's the part.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
right.
For me, it pays off in all the heroes coming together, the heroes landing in the spaceship, who's a Skrull in the middle of this, and the big fights, the test, who's the next guy smarter than Reed? Is it Wolverine? Because he'll just stab a bitch and just say, if you're a Skrull, I'll tell. If not, I'm gonna assume you're gonna live because I stabbed you.
I love when Black Widow just shoots Wolverine.
Yeah.
Either way, she knew it would work because either he heals or she just killed the Skrull. So
right, yeah, exactly.
And she even gives him shit about it, like, hurry up, heal so we can move on with her shit.
Yeah, but this is the problem I have with the adaptation, because this is like an in-game style story.
Yeah. I agree. There's not enough shooting Wolverine.
and the TV show is a Nick Fury story.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, it really is. I mean, it wants to be Winter Soldier, but it doesn't use the elements to build a good thriller, but it is a good Fury story.
It's super grounded compared to the comic, like,
which you could argue most of the MCU adaptations have been like that. I think with the exception of Endgame and Infinity War, Civil War was a very grounded adaptation, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the others. I guess it's just that one.
Age of Ultron was probably Age of Ultron's funny because they announced the movie and then they put out the event, which was completely different, which is also by Bendis. So yeah, interesting. Anyway, all right, Clay, you got anything else? We can come back for movies and stuff. We'll go because I don't have any more comics, but
I think I went over these last time. Star-Lord Grounded.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
we got through some of the comics, but
Yeah.
I didn't want to delete anything in case I didn't remember.
Yeah, the only thing other than that is, man, I had half-price books and found and was able to put a bunch of series together, except for like maybe 1 or 2 issues, and then hit my comic store the next day and like filled in, like Nightcrawlers that is pretty recent.
I seem to remember, those just came out a month ago.
Yeah,
the last one probably because since the Sins of Sinister just finished, and that was part of it.
Yeah, a Weird World run by Jason Aaron for Secret Wars. I was able to pick up all 4 of those at half-price books. But yeah, right now it's just a giant stack of stuff I got from the library, and I caved in because you have raved about this so much. I picked up Nightwing.
Nice.
So that's my comics.
Cool. All right, Josh, did you have any more comics?
Yes, but I'll go through them very quick. So, Doctor Strange, number 5. I got this cover. It's good. it's a fun. I really like seeing Stephen and Clea's relationship. There's always in the background this, and it's usually not them. It's usually people around them who are like, yeah, Clea's done something, right? Like it's this constant background noise of, is she the one that is doing the thing that is the central plot of this series? So anyway, it's good. The art is great. I love the artist on this is Pasquale Ferry.
Yeah,
and it's amazing. Jed McKay's writing it.
yeah. Jed McKay's doing some really fun stuff. The Avengers one that it just started is really fun.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I meant to pick up the first issue of that, and it just felt, and this book kind of has a bit of that too. It just felt very much like it's picking up off of earlier stuff that had happened. So there's a lot of.
So this one for sure. So Jed
Yeah.
McKay, Doctor Strange started with the death of Doctor Strange,
Okay.
and then the Strange series where Clea was the main protagonist, and then now this.
Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
So
And I want to give him credit that there's a sense of all that stuff that has led up to this moment. It hasn't really hurt the story for me at all.
okay.
Like, I don't feel like lacking that information I'm missing out, which again, I think is the sign of a really good,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, these are like let's say like it's the same franchise, but they're definitely a different movie, right?
yes, exactly. Fantastic Four number 9. God, every fucking time these come out, I want to get an alt cover, and then I see the standard Alex Ross cover, and I get it anyway.
Oh, actually, I think I haven't read that one. I think I'm at 8.
It's great. It's part 2. It resolves what began in issue 8.
Okay.
And I will say I like this story. I continue to love what the team is doing with this book. The central kernel of what happened in the last issue is starting to feel a little repetitive, because it almost goes back to like the first issue, right? Like it almost seems like he's kind of hitting this storytelling
I think
trend.
I feel like that. I agree with you, and I feel like that's gonna come back to play like in the arc where they finally have to address.
Yeah. Okay.
What happened in the first issue, or not the first issue, but the big reveal of what happened and like why the kids aren't there and all that.
That makes sense. So it's more.
I feel like it's all gonna be connected.
Yeah.
But yeah,
This one though gives
the one I read is
Oh,
the one I
sorry.
read is the one where that starts with Johnny trying to like practice making fire shapes,
yes.
and then
Okay.
and then
So
the story happens with Alicia and Sue. Okay,
Yep.
so that's part 2 of this.
This is the resolution to that.
Okay, cool.
And the thing I really love about this is it gives the primary narrator is Alicia.
Yeah.
And so you and I say this pun intended, you see things through her eyes, which is interesting. So anyway,
for those that don't know, Alicia is visually impaired.
I'm sorry. Yeah, as total grognard to me. Yeah.
Okay, that I feel like that saying "total grognard" to me is also very grognard, just based on context.
It is. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. And then, so this is all stuff I've been reading.
And that's by Ryan North, which we talked about. Go read his Secret Invasion. It's also very good. I already told Josh to do that. So hopefully
I do need to go do that.
That's a more personal, closer story.
Yeah, it feels a lot close. Like it feels more similar in scope to the show.
Yeah.
Love Everlasting. I believe this is the penultimate issue. I thought it was the last one, but it's not. I have a very weird reason for picking up this specific cover. I just want to stress this is so weird. You guys have to just hang on tight for a second. The artist I did my thesis on, and I just recently published a chapter on, Lee Miller, was a surrealist photographer, but very late in life. She had given up photography, but she started doing basically surrealist meals and dinner parties. And she would make surrealist food. She became a cook, a chef, in like her final years. And one of the meals that she made was all blue food. And if you think, yeah, Clay's face says it all. If you think about, blue is an unnatural color for food, right? Typically, if we see blue on food, it's mold. And so she took the idea of, let's take this visceral reaction and turn it into an actual like dinner party. And I saw this cover, and even the main character on it looks like Lee Miller at that stage of her life. Like I was blown away at this, and I was like, holy crap, I love this cover. I've got to get it. So that said, the story's still great.
So two quick comments on that. First of all, you can, if you want to know more about the process for the book and all that, you can join Elsa's Patreon. She gives a lot of insight, and she sends you prints. I just got mine for this month. The other thing, Josh, this is how I know you're not on TikTok, because there's a TikTok account that is like lobster fishermen, and they tell you stuff.
Okay.
Blue lobsters are naturally occurring in nature.
I've heard this, yes, and it's when they come out of water, they
No. Like
okay.
they are like rare. It's like a mutation in lobster. So there's a normal color, like really dark red or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think these also turn red when you cook them, or like whatever. That's the chemistry part that I don't know about. But this fisher, like the crew that pulls these out, they have pulled a few blue lobsters from the ocean. A lot of the time they throw them back because they don't meet the requirements, or they may be carrying eggs or whatever, and they can't. There's a lot of rules to lobster fishing.
Okay.
But that's how I know you're not on TikTok. So,
and I'm not. But that makes me I didn't know any of that. And that I love that explanation, because it makes me wonder, is the blue lobster here symbolic of her desire to find the one, right?
Or is this character on TikTok?
Could be that too. I would be surprised, actually, because I think even by this point in the book, they're only in the well, every year is what, 1963? Even as she ages.
Hey, they could take a jump back into the future, or jump forward to the future.
That would be
you never know with Tom King. As long as it's sad, he's gonna go there.
Oh, it's sad.
It is. Yeah, I've read the first. We got the trade of the first 6. And,
man,
it's really, even just reading the first 6, you don't know where it's going. You have. I mean, it's get it collected.
It's really,
and again, my complaint about it is those first 6 issues. It took, like, I think issue 7 is the one that finally something happens, like the cycle is broken, and it just took so long to get there that anyway,
I wonder if the pacing is different because this was a Substack first book, so like
I didn't know that. That could be.
Yeah. So this is they launched this as a co-Substack for both King and the charity, Everlasting Productions, I believe it's called.
Oh wow, okay.
So that's how the book came out originally. So I don't remember if it was every month or every week you would get a few pages of an issue. I think it was every month, but that's how I started reading it, and then they started putting it out and through Image.
Fascinating. I did not know that.
Yeah, a lot of the Substack first books that from a couple years ago when it launched.
Yeah.
That's why James Tynion has so many books going on, because he's been working on Substack books. And we'll talk about James Tynion later too. So yeah,
that crazy bastard. All right, sorry, just 2 more real quick. Did anyone else read this? Ooh, weird.
Not yet.
Okay. I picked up the Jeff Darrow cover.
Nice.
I'm gonna stick with it. It's an interesting book. I love Shaky Kane. I'm a big fan of Bulletproof Coffin. And so I saw he was doing the art on it. I don't know the writer, Jordan Thomas. Does that ring a bell?
No.
It throws you into the deep end. There is world building in this, but you've really got to think about it, because so the basic concept of this is take your standard kind of film noir, but also like 80s era buddy cop movie, and throw it into a world where everybody is basically like an alien monster, and yet the bad guys are, of course, tech billionaires and rich people. It just, I mean, these are the first 2 pages, and there is an assassination attempt against a go to the next page. It's
I was trying to find the 2-page view.
okay. If you well, screw you fuckos, and he like shoots himself into the air with his machine guns. It just, the book is wild. It's so wild. And the other thing I really like about it is every character's name looks really stupid, but if you say it out loud, it seems to imply kind of what their problem is. So for instance, I'm sorry.
Lady Hati. No, I'm just trying to read this.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I guess not every character, but like the main character. So for instance, or is it
Lady Haste?
Lady Haste. What? So the main character is called Over a Sauce, which you kind of get the impression he may have used to have been an alcoholic or like a drug addict. His new partner's name is I gotta say
right off the bat, I'm not a big fan of this artwork's not definitely for me.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah,
but it's because
Clay, if you want to read it, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I like the weird.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. I'll tell you that. So again, I'm gonna stick with it. I feel like Shaky Kane's art is it's very much kind of a hybrid of who is the guy that created and drew THB way back in the day? Does that ring a bell? Anyway, that guy and Mike Allred. I think there's just a lot of like that kind of combination there.
I see the Allred. Definitely, I think it's in the coloring.
And one of the alt covers, which my shop did not get, is by Mike Allred and his wife. Laura does the colors. So,
okay.
Anyway, final one. This is kind of my pick of the week, if you will. Captain America 750. Now, the sad thing is, this is probably going to be my last Cap issue. I had basically given up once they resolved the whole storyline with the big crossover that just ended. But I wanted to get this for 2 reasons. One is I just want to see like kind of where they took things after that. And this is very much a kind of anniversary issue. I think I told you guys on Discord, it really hits you in the feels when you read it.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. That is a good cover too. I had to get the George Perez one. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like there's just a great bit where Misty Knight is explaining the importance of the shield to Sam. That is just really, really heartfelt. I love that. It's the first story in here. It's really good.
Yeah.
It's just a great issue. And the thing also, and it's just a minor thing I just want to point out, but it's something I've become acutely aware of. I really love that Marvel and DC are going back to legacy numbering, because I think it's a very different mindset now than it was back in like the 90s and the 2000s, where every month you had a reboot and it was all new issue ones. And it kind of fucked up the whole like numbering of issues that had been around for, at that point, like 30, 40 years. I like the fact they're going back to it and kind of acknowledging that, there have been, we're probably talking like 20 different volumes or series, but there have been 750 issues of Captain America, and that's cool, right? Or like they've done recently with all the Batman and the Superman books. It's just, I don't know, I kind of like that acknowledgement. So,
well, I do hate
make it easier to collect.
Yeah,
because there are 9 volumes of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh
so
God.
if I pull an issue 7, I've got to find who is the writer, because I think that might be volume 7 or 6.
Now the most ridiculous example of it, because I had to look it up, every now and then with that type of stuff, you'll see the numbering. It's not on here, but you'll see the numbering, and
then legacy
underneath it'll have the LGY.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The most ridiculous is the excellence right now because I'm still pissed off about the numbering.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
they did like the season 1 and the season 2. All the season 2, like I think most recently issue 3 came out, but it says Legacy number 7. And I'm like, you fucking idiots. What are you doing? Like, it's all one series. Stop doing this. So, anyway.
Well,
I'm done.
Josh, I hate to burst your bubble again,
Uh-oh.
but we are getting first of all, well, I guess not share. If you want to follow some of the stuff that you've been reading in Cap, you can check out the new Thunderbolts book because it's going to be written by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing as well,
Oh, okay.
with an all new roster that's much more MCU friendly, as you can see.
Very.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Shang-Chi.
We have
This feels
Bucky, we have
very
both
much-
of the Widows,
Yeah.
U.S. Agent, Red Guardian. This is Val Contessa
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
LaFontaine. This is a new character called Destroyer that's also just Sharon Carter after what's happened to her.
That was created in the Captain America
In the
crossover
Cold War
series.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
And Shang-Chi, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but okay. But
Right.
also, there's shit. J. Michael Straczynski's coming back, and they're relaunching a Captain America #1.
I
Yeah.
know, and I'm just I like Straczynski, but I'll give it a shot.
I'll
God
say
damn.
I'll check it out too, but I'm not very excited about that.
Wait, but isn't it John Cassidy art too?
I think so.
Did
I
look
don't
like
know.
John Cassidy, yeah.
Let me see. I didn't have the.
I mean, if he's doing the book, that's definitely.
Oh, it's Jesus Size.
Oh, okay. It was just
But I
the
guess
cover.
I mean, so here's my thing. They just did a big crossover storyline. Why are they rebooting Cap again? I don't get it.
Because
Just-
Bucky's left for the Thunderbolts. Do you want to see the Frank Miller Captain America cover? Of
No.
course you
No.
Well, all right. No. Okay.
do. It's not bad, but it's not the best. It's not my favorite. There's too much going on, I think.
You've
It's-
seen my
okay,
reaction.
compare-
to all of
yeah.
them.
The Frank Miller thing.
Oh God! What?
I don't know. I don't think he needed this background.
I don't. Well,
I don't think
You
the
know what?
Captain America composition's bad. I like it. Like it looks cool, but just I don't really like the
Yeah.
background.
Is
Cap,
he going into
Cap-
the sun?
Cap looks like he got stung in the lips by a bee.
It looks like he's coming out of the thing's butthole.
Yeah, I was gonna say is
Like,
this Cap
This
versus
is
Ghosty?
the other side of his thing cover.
Oh my God! It is. It
Hold on,
totally is.
I'll definitely code this.
That's why the thing is crouching like that. He's shooting Cap right out of his ass.
God, I'll try to Frank Miller it up and recreate that from the
Oh
side
my
view,
God.
like a side view of that encounter.
Oh wow. Wow. Oh, that killed me. You've got to clip that. That's
Oh,
amazing.
I already took the yes.
All right, good.
Oh shit!
Oh god. Oh,
Ghostsy's
man.
in the Marvel universe.
Oh, can I just do like I haven't read these. I just want to show them real
If
quick.
you must.
If I must. Anyone read Barnstormers?
I did when it came out in Comixology Originals. What did you think?
Oh, what'd you think?
I liked it. It's
Okay.
very, very. I get Rocketeer from it, but a little
That's-
different.
Kind of why I picked it up, but okay.
And I'm a big fan of Tula Lote and Scott Snyder. So
Oh, I didn't know that was okay. Anyone else read Joseph 1957?
No.
no,
I picked it up mainly because of Apes in Space. What was really weird was I picked it up. It's like a prestige book. This is $7, and then like a week or two later, issue 2 was already out, and I'm trying to figure out if I need to pick it up or not.
what
So
publishers buy? What publisher?
Dark
CEX.
Horse. Oh, I thought it had a Dark Horse label.
CEX. Oh,
CEX.
interesting. So
CEX.
they're new.
They're
Oh.
very new. Yeah, I have.
If anyone caught I had a video that I did with my buddy Aiden where he got some portfolio reviews.
Uh-huh.
One of the editors at CEX actually took time to review his portfolio.
Cool. That's awesome.
So they are a brand new publisher, so maybe they're trying
Yeah.
to look for
I-
artists and stuff.
I have something else from. I think it was one of the fantasy books I read way back when. It was
Yeah.
also by CEX, and then of course Brave and the Bold #2. I still need to read it. I just haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah.
So
Oh man, that Joker story they're retelling.
I know that's the main reason I want it is that Joker story. So
Oh, okay. Well, I'll put on the list to reach out to CX. Maybe we can get some comps and
that'd be awesome. Yeah,
read 'em.
because I will say this. I noticed the description of issue 2 was basically the American president at the time. I think it's Wilson. To fight the Russian ape in space, just has to go up in space. So they like rocket him up into space to go fight the Russian space ape, and I'm like, why wouldn't I want to read this? I mean, that just sounds incredible. So
Nice.
Anyway, all right.
Okay. Let me do some TV things real quick. Then Clay, I know you got some TV things you want to talk about. I also dropped a link there for you in the notes for that weird work that you want to read. I figured since I was already on my computer. So have you guys checked out My Adventures with Superman, the HBO animated
Not yet.
Adult Swim? It's really good. Jack Quaid is a perfect voice for a young Clark Kent. The cast is fantastic. I'm a big fan of anime, so the anime influence really comes through. And I also really enjoy how they are reworking characters in the Superman mythos and like his enemies and stuff to fit into this new world that they're telling you. But my favorite thing is that Superman doesn't fully know who he is yet himself. He's young enough that he's still discovering powers, discovering who he is. I don't want to give away too much, but it's really good. You can watch it on Adult Swim on Thursday nights, I think, or next day available on Max. And you can check out my full review of episodes 1 and 2 because they're like a part 1 and 2, so they release them at the same time. So highly recommend it. Very kid friendly, I think, even for it being on Adult Swim. I know we were joking about it on Thursday as to why they put it on Adult Swim.
Yeah. I still find that weird, but okay.
Yeah. So I'll leave this to last because I know Clay also wanted to touch on The Losers. I watched Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Interesting.
Man,
right.
Those movies, like, I don't care about the Mission Impossible franchise until they come up with a new one. And then I watch it and I'm like, oh, fuck. I forget how much fun these are. So yeah, I didn't do a rewatch for this one because there's a part 2. And I learned from my mistakes of rewatching everything for Infinity War when I should have done it for Endgame. So I'll probably do a rewatch of Mission Impossible. It was really good though. Like, just action-packed, great stunts, great casting. Palm Clementov, well, she's Mantis. She's great. She is great in that film, in that movie. Rebecca Ferguson's great. Right? Yeah. Rebecca Ferguson's great. You get to see a lot of Tom Cruise running, which, if that's your thing, it's weird how much this dude runs in his movies. Like, if somebody's watching and you are an aspiring editor, if you want to put a cut together of like just him running in all the Mission Impossible movies, that thing will blow up on your channel.
It will also be 28 hours long.
Yeah.
I don't have the time or strength to do that, but there's a pretty.
Does anyone else feel like Tom Cruise just assumes Scientology makes him invincible? Like, yeah. I mean,
that's definitely the other side of it. I'm not a fan of him personally. Yeah. But all the people in his movie are so good. Simon Pegg is in these movies. Yeah, I love him.
Yeah.
Ving Rhames still just running around with Tom Cruise trying to save the world.
And we got Haley Atwell in this one.
Oh my God. How could I forget? She is the star of this film, I think.
I'm so excited.
She steals the show.
She's great.
And also, what's her name from the Hobbs and Shaw franchise? She was Shaw's sister.
Oh yeah.
I forget her name, but she's in it. Yeah, she's in it from a few movies, but she's back. So yeah, good stuff. And then I also watch 2 movies. One I'll recommend, one I won't. The Blackening. It's the horror comedy. It just takes all the stereotype. Like, the tagline is so good because it's like, if all the characters are black, which one's gonna die first?
Oh,
oh my God, they really lean into all that, but they also give you like a really fun story. It's on VOD. I'm sure it'll be in streaming soon. It's really, really good. I really enjoyed it. I should have gone to the theater to watch it, but I thought it was going to be scarier than than it looked. That's why I didn't originally go watch it at the theaters, but it's not. And then the Outlaws in Netflix. I think it's Adam
Oh,
Devine. I didn't finish the
yes.
movie. It was so boring.
Are you serious? Because I was going to watch that because I like Adam. I love
Maybe
Mark
you'll like
Wahlberg.
it. And this is from somebody that the big fan of Pierce Brosnan, who's in the film. But man, it is just like
How's Ellen Barkin? Because I love her.
I think she's fine. I think I don't think that I don't think they get enough time. Or maybe I will say I fell asleep and then didn't want to go back to finish it.
Wow.
So because the first part was so boring, maybe it gets better in the second act, and maybe it's more involving the parents and stuff. So yeah. And then two things. If you are watching something on Netflix, watch Nimona. That's
Okay, yeah, I've heard great things about
fucking outstanding. One of the best adaptations from a comic. And then also, if you do want to go to the theater and not watch Mission Impossible, watch Joyride. Really raunchy comedy. It's really fun though. It's about these friends that go over to China to meet one of their adoptive moms, and then and then the hangover happens pretty much.
Oh, cool.
So, but it is so great. It's raunchy as hell, like movies used to be back in the day. But it's also like kind of full of heart and a nice message at the end, which is a tough balance to walk through. Like, it's really good. It's really good.
Okay.
So, Clay, let's go to your stuff, and then I know he's away, so we'll go to your summer stuff. What else?
Okay. On Netflix, they had a documentary on Wham, and it's
The
pretty
band?
good. Wham,
Or the
the
music?
band.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because again, Gen Xer grew up in that time with Wham, and it gives you a lot of history, like before "Wake Me Up Before You Go Go," because that was like when they blew up. Their first song was a rap song.
Wait,
So
this is that new Wham documentary, right?
yes,
Okay.
yeah. So, but it was really good. It's done in the same vein of the Stan Lee one, where they took audio from George Michael from interviews and strung it together to help kind of tell the story, with Andrew Ridgeley providing additional commentary. And the best thing is that I think it's Andrew's mom kept a photo album of everything. And so it's basically the photo album they go through to tell all these stories. And in the end, it's really a great story about friendship of these two guys who grew up together with a love of music, conquered the world as Wham, and then broke up and went on their own ways. I mean, it was really good. And Shelby, she said, because she heard "Wake Me Up Before You Go Go," we had to watch Zoolander again, which is
That makes sense.
That does
Yeah.
make sense.
which. Okay, when you get to the model scene, where they're all like shooting gasoline everywhere, do you realize one of those models is Alexander Skarsgård?
No.
It's one of his early movies.
Wow.
Because he was a model, right?
Yeah,
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't know
I
that.
think so.
I mean, all those Skarsgård boys are good looking enough to be models anyway. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Did we talk about
they're
him
not having
as
a tough life.
Did we talk about him as a possible Lex Luthor, or was I talking to somebody else about that?
No, but I like
I
it.
Yeah, I do too.
Especially if you've seen Succession.
I have not, but I need
Anyways, I skipped the losers, Clay. I forgot. But now that Josh is back,
Okay, let's get into the Losers, because Losers is one of my favorite comics by one of my favorite teams, and this movie is so fucking underrated.
look at this cast. First of all,
to. Wow.
Yeah,
how did you afford that back in 2010? Because they
Well,
were not.
they were not who they were.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Zoe Saldana, she hasn't been. That was on her stepping stone to become the billion-dollar woman, being in Avatar and the Avengers films.
This is post.
big
This is
fucking
post
films.
Drumline. Zoe Saldana.
Oh shit! Yeah, I love this fucking movie. The only thing I will say is I don't like how they. I mean, they made it. They pivoted on the bad guy, and they made it a one person kind of thing that's different than the comic. The comic is jock art all the fucking way through, with
Oh,
Andy
wow.
Diggle writing it as a
Yeah.
Vertigo title. It's a reboot of an old war story where he takes them and kind of updates them.
It's like the A-Team.
Yeah, and when the movie came out, it was competing against the A-Team movie and the Expendables, and I was like, well, I mean, I saw that A-Team movie, and Jesus Christ, I've seen better shit from my dog. I mean, that A-Team movie is so bad. It's not even bad good. It's like you question why you're watching it.
I will say, back when I watched it, I was just like, I was a big fan of what's his name, the UFC guy that's in it.
Oh yeah, B.A. Baracus.
So so like I was on board with just like watching some nonsense, and I've never seen the A-Team either. So like I know the concept of it. Don't sound so surprised. What the hell? Like,
what is the concept of the A-Team? I want to know what the concept is.
Well, I know the concept is because remember I did our opening that I did.
That's right. Like, yeah.
So I got the gist of it from the opening.
That was the best thing about the A-Team is the intro told you the whole.
You don't need to know anything else. That's You don't.
But I like it. I mean, anymore. I like the concept a lot. I'm surprised they haven't rebooted it to like a new TV show.
Oh, well, I mean they
feels
don't have
like
any writers or actors right now.
But that feel like some things that would be on Paramount Plus, like this Hawaii 5-0.
But the thing about
they were from Vietnam, so are they going to be like Afghan?
Well, lucky for them, we haven't stopped having conflicts with the world since.
Well,
if we stopped having war, we wouldn't have the Losers. We wouldn't have the Punisher.
Yeah. Well, which is why I kind of wonder, did the A-Team movie partly fail? Because like, if you're going to reboot the A-Team, now is the time to do it, right? Because you have global conflicts that you can tie them to, just like the original ones are tied to Vietnam. Did the movie address that at all?
I don't know.
I just remember there's a scene in the movie, and this is just like from the 70s. I remember this kind of bullshit where they're in a building watching a movie where there's a car that's coming at the camera, and then a real car comes through the wall. And I'm like, this is the stupidest shit I have ever seen. And it hurts me to badmouth Bradley Cooper, but Jesus Christ.
It's funny because my brother recently asked me if we owned the A-Team, like so he could watch it in our library or if it was streaming anywhere. I think right now somebody put it up on TikTok in like a million parts. So like every once in a while, a clip like they pick the best clips to upload, right, of whatever movie it is, and that's what makes you want to go watch it. So maybe it's time for an A-Team rewatch. You guys can watch the old show. I'll watch the movie.
I would love to watch the old show because I'm sure they've aged really poorly, because it was always like they were these Vietnam veterans who would come help random people, right, as opposed to in the real world where they need random people to help them because they're homeless. But most Vietnam veterans aren't out helping everyone. And so they would like get calls, or they would run an ad in a local paper, I think was the thing. And then they would they had a woman who was a contact, and they would, solve the problem in 60 minutes every week.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the structure. I mean, Knight Rider had that structure. The Incredible Hulk had that structure. I mean, it was like, that was the structure of most shows in the late 70s and 80s, right? So,
yeah. Were those all Dick Wolf productions?
No, A-Team was Stephen J. Cannell, right?
Cannell, you're right. Yeah, I got that one confused. Yeah, Cannell did a ton of those shows.
He did a ton of those shows. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, but the Losers, what I love, I mean, look at that fucking cast. Jason Patric's he's not the best bad guy in here. He's not, but he's kind of fun.
Especially for Speed 2 fans.
Yeah. But did you know, I didn't realize he was a Nepo baby. You know who his grandfather is?
No, who?
Jackie Gleason.
What?
Yeah. Oh. Jackie Gleason is Jason Patric's grandfather. So
my God.
Yeah. But again, Lost Boys, he was fucking fantastic in. Speed 2 was a movie.
If
he did.
Listen, And if you want to rewatch The Losers, it's not streaming anywhere, unfortunately.
Weird.
But if you're gonna spend the money to buy a Blu-ray,
Worth
just go
it.
ahead and go ahead and get the Jock.
The Jocks Steelbook, man. I've wanted
It's
that.
very expensive. It's like $60.
Damn.
I believe it's a British.
Yeah, you can get it from his website. The Art of Jock has some of his stuff. And maybe take advantage of it. And since you're paying for shipping already, get a few things. But yeah, if I'm gonna buy something, because I was gonna buy the film, I was like, I don't have it. I'll buy it. But I just rented it to watch it. But yeah, this is like if you're gonna spend the money, I'll eventually own this. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, it's been on my questing list for a long time.
It's so good.
I
bet you have
Jock
standing
has
order.
got a bunch of covers for DVD steelbooks, and I try to track them down.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, but I mean, I recommend it. I really enjoy the film.
Yeah,
It's not
I
bad.
recommend the comic. I recommend the film. But the thing it got beat by was the Expendables in the theater. That's the thing that sucked, is because the Expendables is not that great of a movie either. It's just plays on your nostalgia. That's
Right.
I mean, it's still playing on it. They're making a new one. I think the trailer for it just
no?
dropped recently. Oh, I wonder if it. Oh, maybe we'll watch that at the end of the show.
Is it
Um,
Expendables 4
I think
AARP?
it's 5.
AARP.
I mean, what the fuck? I mean, most of these, I mean, I think about the people that are in it, and it's like, you can't keep doing this shit. You're old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna hurt yourself. And
did you guys-
what's scary as hell is Bruce Willis has signed over his digital rights. Bruce Willis could appear in an Expendables movie if they pay for his digital rights.
Oh man.
we'll definitely talk about that. Well, but that's a little different. But yeah, we'll talk about that. Did you guys watch the new season of What We Do in the Shadows?
Not yet. We are waiting until my wife gets back. She'll be mad if we
Yeah,
watch it a lot.
yeah.
Okay, it just came out this week. They dropped 2 episodes, and then next week we're getting Justified again. Oh fuck, I love that show.
Oh my god, I love Justified. I was going down an Elmore Leonard wormhole yesterday, and because Alligator was on Joe Bob last night, and it has Robert Forrester in it. And I love Robert Forrester. Most people remember him from Jackie Brown. He played Max Cherry. And yeah, and fuck, I'm having a brain fart.
Excuse you.
And lost my whole train of thought. So
I wish we had more buttons so I could put stuff on the screen.
do that technical difficulties one with Josh's expression.
Got it.
Nice.
I need to get one. I need to get one with like the little monkey trying to repair the TV.
Yeah. Oh, I remember where I was going. There was a show with Carla Gugino and Robert Forrester that was Karen Cisco, and it ran on ABC. It was an Elmore Leonard TV series before Justified, and it only lasted 10 episodes, and they've never put it out on DVD. They've never put it out available, and I found some episodes on the Daily Motion. But yeah, I love Elmore Leonard stuff. So Justified, and that series was fucking great.
And Timothy Oliphant is just fantastic.
Now here's some other movie trivia for you. You know who Timothy Oliphant was up for in the MCU?
Oh yeah.
What role?
Oh, on the MCU. Oh, I thought you were gonna tell me in the Fast and Furious franchise.
No. He was up for a big role in the MCU.
Iron Man.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It was him, Iron Man. It was him and Robert Downey Jr.
Weird.
Oh man. Ooh, what Iron Man villain could we cast him in to bring him back?
Oh shit.
Because they already did what?
Oh, who's the guy with saw blades on his arms? Who's that guy?
I want to say Gladiator, but that doesn't sound
No, it's he's got a green outfit. It's all armor, but he just has these rotating.
Oh,
saw blades.
the what's it? Yeah, I don't know. I know I can
I
picture the
can see
panel
him. Yeah, I can see him. I don't know what his name is.
because they already used Whiplash.
They used Whiplash.
They already used the Ironmonger, which are like the bigger.
We've already got
Oh, he should just come back as the villain from Live
yeah,
Free and
the-
Die Hard.
Mandarin.
the 10 Rings of the Mandarin.
Yeah, they've done that twice. He should come back as who, Danny? I'm sorry, I was.
And I said they already. I mean, that he should just come back as his character from Live Free or Die Hard.
Oh my god!
My favorite Die Hard movie.
Oh wow! That's
great.
a journey.
Clay, did you have anything else? I do want to move on to the news soon.
Yeah, I finally watched Ghostbusters Afterlife, which I really did like.
Did you cry?
It was. I love Harold Ramis. Harold Ramis is the reason. He is the basis of most of the comedy that I love.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the head writer for SCTV. He helped write Animal House, Stripes. But it's just tough to watch a guy who's passed away appear on screen as a ghost.
Yeah.
And it makes you question, like, is this entertainment? Like, I mean, is like just bringing back the dead to complete a story? Is that entertainment? Because it made me sad. But then seeing Dan Aykroyd just full
react,
that got me, because it's like
I will say, to their credit, and I think this was a very smart choice, they showed you an aged up Egon, not what Harold Ramis really looked like at the moment of his passing.
Yeah.
Which I thought it was a good choice, because it's like you're elaborating on. It's still iffy. It's still iffy, and now we're seeing the repercussions of that kind of stuff, right? And what's going on. But I thought it was a very tasteful choice to just age up the Egon character, not so much to just like get what Harold Ramis really looked like as he was older. So
and give him no voice. Like, I really like, if he spoke, I would have just been like, that's too much, And we're just about to get into an age of where we're going to have digital actors replacing people. That if you start to do Bruce Willis movies after Bruce Willis passes, I just don't think I could watch that shit.
Which, I mean, I don't know if we need a segue, but if we do, that's part of the.
We can move on.
Okay.
I know we still got some more to talk about.
Okay.
Can do it next. We could do it for next week. Or next time we do a show. Gotcha. I think that's a good segue into the news. That was segment that we want to cover.
Yeah.
Because I keep looking at the notes document. I was like, we're never gonna finish this.
Yeah, because I would love to get into the Stan Lee documentary and talk about that. But that'll lead us down a real.
Can you imagine if Kyle was here? This would have been just what we were into segment.
We'd still be talking about Jack of Hearts.
We're gonna have to expand this for the 3 hours. Okay, so and we'll be brief on this piece of news because we're just three people sitting on the sidelines that don't really know much of anything. But the WGA and the SAG-AFTRA, how come we spell one and then we don't spell the other one? Anyways, they're on strike. The WGA has been on strike for over 70 days since May the 12th, I believe. And SAG-AFTRA, who is the Actors Guild, they just went on strike, I believe, on Wednesday or Thursday. Like, it was during the Oppenheimer premiere in London, where the actors
left.
Yeah, the actors left.
To their credit, it was most of the cast, right?
I don't think Christopher Nolan will ever get a regular movie premiere now since Tenet.
Yeah.
I think he's done. I think he had his movie premieres the way they were. He expects them, and now they'll just be plagued with other stuff. But the main crux of this is that they're striking because they want better deals, and the studios are not playing ball. They have to go back to what we're talking about with Bob Iger. Like, they're just being really, really stupid. That's the best way I can put it. The studios are being both stupid and greedy. Maybe they're not being stupid. They're just being greedy, and they're saying stupid stuff to justify their greed. But these people just want to be paid fairly. And I think one of the big things that I've seen online is like, why should I care about these millionaires? Like, you shouldn't. You should care about the working class actors that's just like, not everyone's Robert Downey Jr. Not everyone is Chris Hemsworth. Like, And they're out there too. They're doing stuff, and I've seen them put out messages and stuff. But not everyone is those people that are getting paid the millions to be in these franchises. A lot
Someone
of them,
made the. Oh, sorry.
now I was gonna say a lot of them include all the way to background actors, stunt performers, puppeteers, voice actors. Like all those people are part of this whole thing, right? As well as the writers that write all those things.
Yep.
That are being nickel and dimed at every deal now because you don't have a network show that's like 22 episodes a season anymore. Like it's all going to streaming and all that. Like there's a lot of stuff that, and now the whole thing with AI as well, where the shittiest thing I heard was that studios want to pay a background actor a one-time appearance, and then that they want to own the likeness of you. If can you imagine any
And
job?
it's only $200. Like that's
Yeah,
all.
right.
That's
And
the
so
minimum.
they would own your digital copy that they could put anywhere in any film for any reason. So they could put you in porn.
Or if later on you did become a bigger actor, like
Yeah.
they could still use your
They could
likeness
still use you, right.
ways that you don't intend.
Yeah.
Signing away anything of your personal like being for any job for in perpetuity
Yeah.
is ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
no matter what industry you're working on. Can you imagine if you ever worked at a restaurant and they're like, "Oh, by the way, we now own your likeness forever, whether you keep working here or not, for marketing or whatever." Like when we'll put your face in the little robot servers now that are running around serving people. Like that is ridiculous.
Well, McDonald's now has a policy you can't quit. Like they have, like you have to, yeah, like quitting is a thing that they want. The manager will work it out with you or try to work it out with you. It was a policy that got posted. I saw on Reddit this week. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like,
You can't quit, bitch.
you
Watch
can't-
me.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that burger ain't gonna flip on its own. Fuck you.
Right. Yeah.
Fix your shake machine.
I guess not every state is an at will employment state either. That's a different
Yeah.
thing too.
That's
Yeah,
a big
because that's
deal.
like Texas, and
Right.
it sucks because it's a shithole policy.
It is.
That's
And-
why you don't need to give a place 2-week notice. They don't give a fuck about you. Anyway, sorry, Josh.
Yeah,
Well, no, I mean,
workers rise up.
Yeah, it makes it really hard as well in an at-work state like Texas because it has this chilling effect where they say, well, you can't organize. Legally, you can organize. You can't strike. And that's the weird thing. It's for instance, at my institution, I am president of our faculty association. We are basically a union in everything but name, right? And because of how the at-work kind of state rights work. Anyway, regardless, I heard the same thing about like controlling like a background actor's image. And that was the tipping point for me. I mean, I was always on board with like the writer's strike and the SGA when they struck. And huge props to Fran Drescher for an amazing speech.
Yeah.
I mean, amazing not just because it was powerful, but because she made sure to make it about all of us as workers, right? It wasn't just Hollywood, which was, I think, brilliant.
And
but-
I'm glad you kind of came around. I know at first it looked like leadership at SAG was not fully on board with striking.
Really interesting.
So like a bunch of actors had to put together like a letter to circumvent leadership a little bit. Looks like they're all kind of aligned in a vision now.
That's good.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, we don't have a lot to say. I will say, don't complain about like not getting new shows or TVs or delays. That's ridiculous, because ultimately it's about the workers' rights and not just like actors and writers. It's about everyone. Because
exactly.
all this technology is not just going to affect this industry. It affects every industry.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't know where entertainment's going to be in 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, so even if they sign agreements for streaming rights, in 10 years, they may have to strike for hologram rights.
Right.
I mean, it may get so advanced in technology, you just have to be able to plan for the compensation if your show is still running.
Yeah.
Because if you look back on TV, a lot of rerun stuff that was put into syndication never had deals for those people that made it. So it was essentially a company could buy it and profit off of it. And so now when people go, well, wait a minute, I don't understand. They're pulling shows from streaming services. It's because the streaming service deems it unprofitable to pay for the license of it.
Yeah.
And so that's why you're seeing some of these streaming services offering, like HBO is offering up their shows to Netflix. I saw Insecure available on there for streaming. So they're already starting to sell out to other places to make even more money. First of all, fuck HBO, or Max or whatever it's called. Pirate all their shit, because that guy is a piece of shit.
He is a piece of shit.
Yeah, they've canceled a lot of really great cartoons and shows on that channel that
almost tanked Turner Classic Movies.
Almost tanked it. Yeah, I mean, it took 3 millionaire directors to go and say, hey, this is history. We have to save it. Right. So, and I was looking to see, like, you know, what Bob Iger makes $27 million annually. He's worth $350 million. And and I know he was part of the executives that have said, we're going to wait it out until these people lose their homes. Fuck you. Fuck you and your money. Eat the rich, rise up workers.
I saw some figures that the average writer makes about $64K a year. Bob Iger makes $74K a day. So don't feel like it.
And what's the best movie he's ever put out?
Yeah, the weird and he's the one that came back to like fix things. That's the worst part, that he's the better of the two Bobs.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
well, he's the more profitable of the two.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, that's now to bounce off both your points. First off, Danny, that's such a good point you made earlier, because we need to support this. We can't get upset when we're tired of watching reruns or there isn't anything new, because this is the first action against these AI tools. Mm-hmm. They're going to come for every profession that we're in, right? I'm already seeing it in my area.
Yeah,
and so it's replaced customer service.
Yeah. So it's like we need to support this, because we need to start having these fundamental reactions to the changing nature, right, of how this tech is affecting every industry. And then to your point, Clay, did you guys see Sean Gunn's interview on the picket line? That was fascinating.
Yeah, because he did Gilmore Girls, and he makes nothing from it still, and it's one of the highest streamed series on Netflix right now.
But what I found interesting about it is he primarily only blames Netflix. He never blames Warner Brothers, who is the studio that originally produced Gilmore Girls, right? And I guess presumably, did they sell all the rights to it to Netflix when they made the new series?
You know, it might have been with them, so it might be like a Marvel deal where maybe it expires after a while.
I just found it intriguing that he was directing his ire legitimately, but only at Netflix as like the streaming bugaboo, right?
Yeah.
They're kind of the beginning of the
it also I don't think they showed what the question specifically was. Maybe there was more.
That's good.
But to kind of close out the segment and move on to other things, I'll let the man say it the best himself. Ron Perlman on the show, everyone. Welcome, Ron Perlman.
Thank you, Ron.
Welcome, Ron.
Do it.
Let's see if this is in response to that comment of like, let the writers run out of money and stuff.
He's got a scary face on.
Yeah, so here.
Before I get off this, the motherfucker who said we're going to keep this thing going until people start losing their houses and their apartments. Listen to me, motherfucker. There's a lot of ways to lose your house. Some of it is financial. Some of it is karma. And some of it is just figuring out who the fuck said that. And we know who said that. And where he fucking lives. There's a lot of ways to lose your house. You wish that on people. You wish that families starve while you're making $27 fucking million a year for creating nothing. Be careful, motherfucker. Be really careful. Because that's the kind of shit that stirs shit up. Peace out.
That is
Bob Iger?
No, that was.
I think it was. Oh yeah.
that's the type of energy you need to bring to fight for workers' rights and your rights as a person. So thank you, Ron Perlman. Thanks for calling in. God,
That was more of his character from Drive.
Yeah.
that was his character from Alien Resurrection.
How do I what's that service you can pay famous people
Cameo?
Cameo. Can I get a cameo of him just calling me a motherfucker? Because I would really like
It
that.
might be. Also, I read online and I saw that Cameo is any money that a lot of these actors and writers make from Cameo, it's going towards their pension funds and all that.
Awesome.
They've made a deal with.
Oh, that's
I don't know
great.
if it's just for the strike or for now.
Or
And
just
like I
in
said,
general.
this is a lot of third-party diluted information. So please go check out all of these resources yourself. You can check their official websites too to like how to help out if you're so inclined or if you're able to. Because like I said, UPS is about to go on strike on August 1st, I believe, the UPS workers.
Yeah.
So this Clay's on strike. Shit. Clay, come back. What do you want? You will not be replaced by an AI, I promise.
No, God, no. No AI could replace Clay. You can easily find one to replace me, though.
Then you know what? I'm gonna skip because I wanted to jump in. I know we just said that in, and I don't know what our coverage of stuff is gonna look like throughout the strike. I haven't figured out the nuances of like, look, we ain't no scabs at this channel. I'll say that.
I mean, should we briefly mention the I guess the Direct Comics way this is impacting it? So the Deadpool 3 set shut down. What was the other one?
What's the other comics thing that's coming out soon? I don't know. Oh man, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, pretty much now every production has shut down.
Yeah,
some of them had to shut down with the writers because they still needed.
They were at that stage of it. But also, as we're discussing in chat before we started, it's even impacting San Diego Comic-Con, right? A number of panels have been canceled because it's featuring actors and writers on these things.
Yeah, because they can't promote.
Right.
They can't promote that. They can't really do any promotion as part of their as part of their contract, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, Josh, what I do want to talk about now, and this is now we're on to some other news. These are happier news.
Good.
And we'll talk about the movie stuff once Clay gets back. But I think this will be specifically you. I mean, I know Clay likes. So, did you see this? I think I posted it on their Discord.
Only when you posted it.
Okay. Yeah.
And
so James Tynion the Fourth and Martin Simmons are launching a Universal Monsters Dracula comic book series.
So now, hopefully, this is just the first, and we get. I want me a goddamn James Tynion mummy book. So
I think from what I'm seeing is that Skybound has fully moved into the license properties.
It feels that way. They got the Transformers and
G.I. Joe.
Right.
They've had the stuff that they spun out, like The Walking Dead and all the Kirkman stuff, right?
Yep.
And now Universal Monsters.
Man.
I mean, I don't know how James Tynion finds the time.
Don't either.
To do this?
He never seems to stop. But God, I am so hyped for this.
And Martin Simmons looks like the perfect. If you haven't read Department of Truth, first of all.
That's who that is. I was trying to figure it out. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Yes. I was lucky to meet him a few months ago at Fan Expo, or a few weeks ago. So I'm very excited. Hopefully we get Image Skybound reviews, but sometimes Skybound holds them back like till the day of release. But we'll be talking about it for sure because I think all three of us are pretty big Universal. I think we're definitely gonna get. I think one of Lydia's kids is really into the Universal Monsters too, right?
That sounds right. I believe so. Yeah.
Shout out Lydia becoming a doctor this week.
Yeah, Dr. Lydia. I love it. Or as she made her kids call her Dr. Mom. When does that come out?
It's slated for October 25th, which makes
sense.
Perfect sense.
Halloween. Yeah. I am hyped for that. That was cool.
Me too. Me too. So we'll be talking about Transformers, and I believe that's September. I think GI Joe is in October, and then oh man, I'm so hyped. I am a big fan of like. I'm not the biggest Universal Monsters person, but I do. I was pretty bummed when the Dark Universe didn't come together.
When it failed to launch. I don't even think it.
It failed multiple times because they were
Yeah.
going to start with that Dracula Untold movie,
Right.
and it failed.
Well, wait. I thought no, that's right.
And then the Mummy was the one where like, oh, we got this because that was the actual movie where they put Russell Crowe as Mr. Jekyll and Hyde as their Nick Fury type of
right.
person that
It was
was
like
gonna
the curator or whatever. So I've still never seen that one. I can't bring myself.
It's I think I've watched it. It's not very good. And it's got some really incredible action sequences because Tom Cruise is in this film and that man wants to kill himself on film, I think.
But Scientology will save him. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, he could free.
I mean,
fall
maybe
from a
maybe it
plane.
has so far.
It may have.
He was hanging out of an airplane in that other movie.
I'm really starting because I know that like oh my god, why did I just blink in his name? Shaun of the Dead guy that's in all of the
Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg. I know Simon Pegg's thanks. A big like friend of his now and will like go to bat for him. And I'm like, God, is Simon Pegg becoming a Scientologist? So,
maybe he got promoted to a high level there.
He went clear. So hey, there's Clay.
Clay, we skipped the movie stuff. We just talked about the James Tynion Universal Monsters comics that are coming out in October. So that's gonna be really fun. But the other things we just talked about, and like I said, I don't know what our coverage of movie stuff is gonna be going forward.
Yeah.
I think we'll definitely focus a lot more on comics until these strikes are resolved.
Yeah, because
I'll
we're not
probably-
going to have anything new.
I mean, even then, like, I don't know how much I want to be pushing stuff. I will be talking about Oppenheimer and Barbie for sure, but that's
Well, of course, yeah.
and
I
then
think we're already planning on going that Thursday because they're having like a 3 p.m. screenings.
Oh,
they're having them
nice.
early.
Which order, Clay?
Oh, we're going to see Barbie. I don't think.
Oh, you're not doing Oppenheimer. Okay. Yeah.
We're-
Oppenheimer's pretty long too, so
Yeah, I mean, believe me, I want to see it for everyone that's involved. But yeah, that story, man.
Yeah.
Bummer
it's
City.
hard.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you just don't want to see like a guy who's building a device that just we all sit in fear of every day.
I'm kind of curious if because you brought this up at the comic club, if they don't have the famous Hindu Tibetan Book of the Dead that he says after, I'll be like, why did they blow that? You've got to at least have that quote in there. So
Yeah, I know.
It's like if you think this quote.
That should be how it ends.
Yeah, and I'm kind of assuming that is how it ends. But,
is that the speech that he talks about like two people or something like that?
No,
No,
it's
I am death, destroyer of war.
Yeah.
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 I
I didn't. So I recently used that in a video, that audio.
Oh wow!
Not
Was
to
it
be
for your
callous.
Barbie
but it was-
review?
Please tell me it was not your review of the '90s Casper the Friendly Ghost movie.
No, let me show you. And then the other thing is that video also did very well on Shorts.
Oh, nice.
I'll show you. I'll pull it up in a second. It did very well along with our. Maybe it didn't do that well. It did okay.
Well, I will just say in terms of media discussions, I'll keep doing my part of bringing back random old shit that I just prefer to watch. So that's good.
Here, there it is. Oh.
Few people laughed. Few people cried. Most people were silent.
Is that not it? That's not what you guys are talking about, right?
No, it's from like the Tibetan Book of the Dead, or it's a Hindu statement, but I am. God damn it! I got
the quote does sound familiar though. I've heard of it before. For sure.
See, you can't just type Oppenheimer quote anymore because of this fucking movie.
It's
There it
from
is.
the
Oh,
Hindu scripture Bhagavad Gita. I can't say Bhagavad Gita.
yes, that one. I have become death, destroyer of worlds. Oh, now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. And we'll find out this is like not an actual thing, of course.
Man, I just kind of want to watch that Ron Perlman video over and over again. It gives
Pretty
me
good.
some energy.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, look, man, I love Ron Perlman. He's great.
Dude, watch Drive. Like that is, I love Ron Perlman in that.
I really may go to Cameo because if I could just get a recording of him saying "Wake up, motherfucker," I'll do it. I'll use it as my alarm. I mean, it'll piss Jen off, but it'll be great. So,
But at least it'll wake her up.
yeah, only the first time, and then she'll demand I never use it again.
All right, real quick because we are running long. So we saw a lot of pictures of this Deadpool 3 movie with Hugh Jackman in it, and we're getting
OG costume.
Yeah, it's very close, I think, to what we would like to see. I'm not sure on these sleeves.
It's the most accurate Wolverine costume and Deadpool costume we've seen in the movies. I mean,
is he gonna get the mask? That's what I really want to see on film because we've never seen that done.
You've never seen the mask. Yeah, I would love to see that. I'm just bummed that they've had to shut everything down. Like,
I know. Yeah,
it's just fucking insane that like all the pre-production, the cost, getting everything set up, and then just stoppage.
Yeah,
that's going to cost the studios. That's the fucking thing. Is just shit sitting around.
Yeah.
But see, they're still profiting off of streaming. That's it. It's like I just don't understand the fucking model for Netflix. Like I understand the model for a movie, but I don't understand the model for, how is a show successful on Netflix to make back what, it cost.
So here we can see the suits. I do like, you can see a lot of dots on them, so that means that they're gonna do some CGI crap to them.
Right, yeah.
I do love this meme.
That's awesome.
Pretty good.
That is great.
There was also a picture where we saw the 20th Century Fox ruins, like in the background.
Yes, that looked great. I hope they just goof on that and goof on the studios.
This has to be Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe, at least like the non-MCU Marvel Universe, right?
Did you see who else they signed?
Oh, I mean, yes. Go ahead, tell us.
Jennifer Garner to come back and play Elektra.
I saw that.
Because I was like, of all the worst fucking MCU movies, I hope this is a redemption for her because that fucking movie sucks.
Do they bring back Affleck? I mean, he keeps saying he's not going to play superheroes anymore, but then they brought him back for The Flash. So
I would say so, but maybe not with Jennifer Garner since they're.
But wouldn't it be awesome if he like kills Affleck's Daredevil so that we canonically get Charlie Cox's Daredevil continuing, right?
That would be great.
You know what? While they're doing all this bullshit, can we get Colin? I think Bullseye died at the end of the film. I don't give a fuck. Bring Colin Farrell back as Bullseye.
Yes.
Bring them both back. Give me two Bullseyes that are just full of attitude and shit, man. Colin Farrell's is over the top, and I would love to see him have influence on the Netflix Bullseye.
Here's a question. Which Punisher does he kill?
Oh,
well, unfortunately, Ray Stevens has passed.
Well, okay.
Yeah. So he can't.
But it could be either.
Thomas Jane's still fucking around.
Yeah, he's a giant hippie. I mean, let's
He loves being the Punisher. He made a fan film of being the Punisher.
I would have preferred definitely the Ray Stevens Punisher, the Warzone. Oh,
Warzone is so good.
If you haven't seen it, go check it out.
I've never seen it. I'm not a Punisher fan. I've never seen
definitely
single Punisher movie. Yeah,
gratuitously violent on purpose though. Like I've heard the what's her name? Alexia Alexander, I think is the director. She's talked about it. Like she read the comics and she's like, "Oh, I get it," and then made the movie.
And she does, like in that opening scene.
Yeah. So there's parkour in it, which was like peak at the time, which was really funny. So
In the opening scene, the Punisher takes a knife and puts it through the top of a guy's skull. It is so awesome.
Oh my god. Well, who played the Punisher in that really awful 80s?
Dolph Lundgren.
Oh god, it was Dolph Lundgren.
oh,
Okay.
he's still running around too. Get him.
I say bring
I mean-
back Dolph, man. What if you just put like a group? I mean, again, my multiverse story is always just put them all in a fucking room and see what happens. You know, that's what if you put all the Punishers together and they all just go, we could destroy everything, take them all out.
What if they do that Spider-Man meme with the Punisher where they're all just shooting each other?
So
It would look more like Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Here's an outdated guide
Oh my
to
God,
to
wow.
the movie rights from back then, because now the Hulk and stuff, I think that's back to Marvel, and obviously all this stuff was acquired by Disney as well.
Why is Stan Lee way off over in the?
Because he's the Watcher.
Uh,
He's
He's
all
just-
of them.
Oh, by the way, sorry, totally random. That is the one scene in Secret Invasion I really love, which is, well, shit doesn't get bad until the Watcher shows up, and then he's like, "Oh, come on!" And there's the Watcher. That was a good bit, I have to admit. Anyway, sorry, totally
So-
random.
Look, they could. We've seen all the X-Men, obviously, all the old X-Men, which
Yeah.
I think somebody said Halle Berry posted something about her working out, and I'm like, is this for the movie or is this like just because Halle Berry works out?
Right.
It's
Halle Berry works out.
Oh
hard
my
to tell.
god, are you telling me they couldn't have done the Kane saga until now because Fox owned the rights to Kane?
Yeah,
Wow, I did not realize that. I guess that makes sense. It's an FF thing, but
I'm
They
just
can
looking at it
bring-
and mad that we don't get an Alpha Flight movie.
yeah.
they can bring Cable back. The Blob from the Wolverine movie. I think they should bring everybody. Oh my god! I also
They
heard
killed
that.
everyone in the Wolverine movie. That was why it sucked.
I heard that they're also trying to get Channing Tatum to cameo as Gambit.
Okay, I would dig
Wow.
that. I would dig that because I know he really wanted to be Gambit, and I'm not
Yeah.
a Gambit fan. But if you're a
Me
fan
neither.
and you want to make it happen, let's see it.
I
How
mean,
many-
after his performance in what's the
Oh,
movie with Ryan Reynolds?
Yes. The computer game.
Good guy, or free
No,
guy.
Free guy. Yeah. God, he's great in that. He's also great. If you haven't seen it, and is it the Lost City with Sandra Bullock?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
He is excellent in that. They both are. It's a great movie.
We can get the Fantastic Four.
Are we going
Yeah.
to get a Nick Cage Ghost Rider appearance? Because we got a Nick Cage Superman appearance that looked totally digital. I hope he got
Yeah.
paid for that. But we could get a dual Ghost Rider.
That'd be cool. Or we can even get some of the characters from the Netflix shows that they didn't want to bring back. Give them a
I-
send up.
Yeah, I would love to see Iron Fist return, and not Danny Rand, but the Iron Fist that they left with. God,
Yeah.
and I fucking love Luke Cage, man. And I just
I
wish
do
they
too.
I just wish they would bring him back.
I want to see more Jessica Jones. Like, I mean, bring back more of those Netflix
I mean,
actors because we've
those-
got Charlie Cox. So
Yeah, I mean, those were the crime stories of the MCU, and
Yeah.
I love those, and they worked in that Netflix form.
hey, I will. Short King, I will go to bat for the fact that first season of Jessica Jones is one of the best TV series ever, flat out. Like, just I'm not even
Yeah.
talking Marvel, just her and David Tennant and everyone is so good. It's such a good season.
All right, let's move on to this other story because otherwise we'll never finish this fucking show.
Yeah. Sorry.
We got some Superman Legacy casting in the last few days.
This is
Mo-
weird.
I think most notably, I think this was my not my favorite one of the announcements. Barry Star Anthony Kerrigan as Metamorpho.
Yes, Hank.
And so Hank. If you haven't seen Barry, go check it out. If you haven't seen Gotham, he plays a great Victor's ass.
He's
Yeah.
really good. Again, I've only ever seen him play a villain, so I'm really interested
Barry is the show where he really stretches his acting chops.
Nice.
Like you get to see a big range in it, and I love seeing this casting.
Now we also saw some other casting, and here let me pull it up because they revealed that Nathan Fillion is coming in as Guy Gardner.
Yeah,
Guy Gardner. I
he
just
better have the cut. He better have the cut.
the
Nathan
weird bowl
Fillion
cut?
with the bowl cut would be hilarious.
But I get the casting. I understand it. Guy Gardner is such a dick, and I really like Nathan Fillion when he plays a charming bastard, you know. And if there's one thing Guy Gardner is not, is charming. So he's really going to be playing basically the role that he played in oh God, what's
Firefly?
the musical? No, the musical. Dr. Horrible's
Oh yeah,
Dr. Horrible. He's going to be playing
Captain
that
Hammer.
character. Yes, thank you. Yeah, Jack Hammer.
Okay.
Captain Hammer.
Here's a full story on that. So they cast Isabella Merced to play Hawk Girl, which a lot of people were thinking it should have been Blitz from the Terrifics run.
So maybe it's not the Terrifics.
And then we also have Eddie Gathegi from
That is cool.
as Mr. Terrific, who he was a great Darwin in the X-Men films, and I hate Kevin Bacon for what he did to him.
Yeah, it was a cool death, but it was like that was the character that like you really wanted to see his powers and how it grow, and it was just like we're going to show you his powers and how he dies.
You know what they should have done, and I hate when movies do this, but Darwin is the one character I believe they should have had an end credit scene of like him putting himself back together because his mutation allowed him to somehow still survive that, and I can't believe they didn't do that. So yeah, we see Hawk Girl, Mr. Terrific, and Guy Gardner. Ooh, let him be the Red Lantern Guy Gardner. If you haven't read that, it's pretty fucking good.
I've not actually.
Oh my God, there's just so many possibilities with Guy Gardner, you know. But I'm excited for all this casting because it obviously means that there's a Justice League film, and it makes me want to lean into the Keith Giffen run.
That's what I was thinking at first, that they were gonna do like a Justice League International that's already out in this world.
Because you've already got the Snyderverse Justice League, which is the Trinity. It's everyone you want to see, and you can't outdo that. So do a different Justice League, and with James Gunn's sensibility, it makes sense to see that kind of Keith Giffen. Silly but serious.
Dude,
I mean,
you fucking sold me on it. I am now all in. If they cast Fire and Ice, we know that's coming, right?
Oh my God! Then who's the Batman that punches out Guy Gardner?
Well,
or maybe they don't put a Batman in that team.
I don't think they're going to put a Batman in there because, again, JLI was the spinoff series, right, where they go to JLE. Justice League Europe,
yeah.
But I believe that so they still need Ralph, right? But I know Metamorpho was in that team. I don't know about Mr. Terrific. Hawk Girl may have been.
And also, if you look at the Jeff Lemire Terrifics run, James Gunn already said that the first movie that's in the DC going forward is Blue Beetle. And look who's in the this is a roster of, I don't know why he has carrots in his hand.
Why not?
This is a version of the Terrifics. Also, we know that Cord Industries is a big part of like Blue Beetle movie, like we've seen from the trailer. I do like that there's a Man Bat in the team. That's pretty cool.
Love Man Bat.
I need to go read this.
Plastic Man. I would like to see a Plastic Man.
I would like to see a Plastic Man.
I need to go read this. Read this run.
I think I'm gonna. Is that a New 52?
Oh, excuse me. Oh, it's I think it's whatever Rebirth.
Oh, okay.
Or right before Rebirth. One of the two.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me. All right, the show's run long enough. But any last thoughts on any of the movie stuff?
I was not excited until Clay just said JLI and Keith Giffen, and now I'm just, it better be that or I'm gonna be pissed.
You know, honestly, what would be fantastic is when we get a poster for it. It is the Kevin McGuire iconic "Everyone Looking Up" poster, but live action characters for everyone.
Which
so fun.
Clay, back me up in this. When you first saw the Clerks poster, did you not think he stole that from that JLI cover? I've always thought that.
I've always thought
that. We can tweet at Kevin.
I probably should ask him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway.
I will say also we should probably do both a Terrific comic and a JLI show in the future.
Oh, I am on board.
I mean, honestly, James Gunn, if James Gunn could, I mean, other than the fact that we're about to go through this whole strike that's going to delay everything, if he could put together a Terrifics team before the Marvel can do an FF team and do it better, fuck, that's DC climbing its way out of its hole.
I'll ask him. I'll ask James Gunn which book should I read, and then I'll just put JLI and the Terrifics. So
nice.
Maybe it's both. All right, hold on. Let me do this so I can clip it up. All right. The last thing we'll do for the show is we just mentioned the Expendables for some reason earlier in the show.
The losers. We were comparing it to them.
Yeah, after the losers. So we're gonna watch the new trailer for the Expendables. It is 4. I think Clay, you said that, and I said it was 5, but it's not. It is 4, so you're correct. So it is Expendables with a 4 instead of the A, which is the coolest way to spell it. I think.
What would you subtitle it? Expendables 4? Where's my arthritis medication?
Let me look at the roster first, and then I think I can give you an answer to that. Because I'll tell you this, Arnold's still fucking around, kicking ass everywhere. Like, I saw a video recently where somebody tried to drop kick him, and the dude barely moved an inch.
Damn.
So maybe it wasn't that easy, but still.
Gunn, bring back Freeze and bring back Schwarzenegger. That would be a move.
Bring them for the Deadpool movie. Have Deadpool kill them.
That's DC, man.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't care. All right.
Hey, I looked it up, Clay. It's actually Expendables 4 : my sciatica's flaring up. So you were close, but
followed by Expendables 5 colostomy time or colonoscopy time.
Well, no, that's what I was gonna say. It's actually just Expendables 4 : oscopy.
You win. That's brilliant.
All right, good. We got 2 good jokes out of this. This is all I want. We do a 2-hour show, so I can clip out 2 minutes of it and put it on show.
I don't know, man. I think you should pull all the WGA SAG-AFTRA stuff.
Yeah, I think I'll probably put that in. I'll put that in a separate video for sure. Yeah. Okay. Let's take a look at the trailers for the Expendables.
Expendables.
Grumpy old man,
baby.
Bring it.
Welcome home, honey.
Do you read now?
What
God,
is
I hope that's
It's classified.
Coming with you.
Oh, I'm sorry. You weren't invited.
Oh.
Nothing can stop me, I can't get enough. Playing with dangerous bad behavior. They call it bad behavior.
Hey, why are you here?
I got this situation where I need your help.
I need bad friends.
Was I'm the new guy.
This our sniper?
Don't worry about it. I got a prescription scope.
Well, Hawkeyes, remember this face. Don't shoot it by accident.
Terrorists have taken possession of nuclear missiles on a cargo ship off the coast. If these babies go off, it'll be World War III.
Take cover!
To choose this life over friends, over family.
It's time to get loud.
Let's fly, baby! Come on, bring it!
Choose not a life of imitation. Distant cuts into the
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, he's from the Raid.
Raid.
Movie. Yeah.
Oh, it's way bigger than that.
No Diamond, they're dead.
You know, there was nothing new in that makes me want to see it. It's all nostalgia for like old action star. Really, it was a Jason Statham trailer.
Well, although, hang on, can I counter that partly? I've never seen an Expendables movie. That to me looks like what the next G.I. Joe should be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, you've got a guy basically dressed up like a G.I. Joe character. It's awesome. What if at the end of that they surprise us with they're the new Joes?
That'd be great. That'd be great, actually.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I will say I thought at first that Megan Fox was going to be Jason Statham's daughter because of her age difference. Obviously, the movie showed us that they're not. There is an 18.
They have a close relationship.
So Statham is 55, and look, he's still around kicking ass. I'm just saying, like, don't cat.
To his credit, he does not look 55.
Yeah, I guess so. But I guess me knowing that he was in his 50s and that Megan Fox is my age.
But look up Statham's real girlfriend and see how young she is, because I think she's younger than Megan Fox.
Oh man.
Oh boy. Let's go on the internet machine.
Yes. The other thing this has sold me on, because I just remembered Dolph Lundgren's appearance in Sunny. I forget he has such great comedy chops. I would not be surprised if he shows up in Deadpool 3 as the Punisher.
Oh, exactly.
I mean,
love it. I love him in Johnny Mnemonic, like the kind of he's a fucking crazy man in that. Like,
but he's like. Have you ever seen the Sunny episode with him in it?
I'm trying to remember what season is that.
It's fairly recently, but it's they're all fans of the Thunder Gun series, so they get invited in as like a test group to watch the next Thunder Gun movie. And they actually have clips of the movie in it, and Dolph Lundgren is Thunder Gun. And he just steals every scene he's in. It's great. Man. It is so good. And I'm like, I just never realized he was so funny. Like, he's just good. So.
He's great.
All right. So Jason Statham is his partner is Rosie Huntington Whiteley, who is 36. So I guess the movie's trying to keep things very real.
I thought she was in her 20s.
No, because Megan Fox is 37.
Oh, okay.
So I guess that's not too bad. I don't know. I mean, I guess at this point in their life, it's not that bad. If you bring that back to when he was in his 30s, then that's not a good look.
Well, just don't think about the fact that he was 20 when she was born. That's always where my brain goes. So
I always love that SNL sketch of like meet your next wife. And
that's really good.
That's a great sketch.
I like 50 Cent. Oh, let me pull up the cast. I do like. I mean, I'm glad 50 Cent's doing. I was glad to see Dolph Lundgren still running around. And I think
the prescription.
The prescription thing is great. I hope that they give him all the funny lines because
I hope so too.
He's been one of the more comedic characters in the other ones too. So
and they've had Chuck Norris show up. They've had everyone, but I don't know. I mean, like they're all forgettable. They're nothing. There's no. What's the plot to any of them?
They told us it was something nuclear missile something.
The other issue here is that this is nostalgia only for a very specific set of people because younger generation. I mean, I grew up watching a lot of those movies too. I'm a transporter guy. Maybe that's why Jason Statham is kind of like more of a lead now.
Right.
Stallone.
He's the bridge.
Because like Statham, he was doing transporter shit when I was growing up.
Yeah, but they're playing him in the same role like he did in Hobbs. Like, I don't get along with this guy. Like, we're at odds, but we have to work together to achieve this goal.
I mean, let's be honest. Jason Statham has one role that he plays. I mean, it's that role, right?
Yeah.
Well, I do love his Mad Monk. Like, there's a British version of The Longest Yard that's soccer, where they're all prison inmates.
Oh yeah,
and he plays the Mad Monk goalie, and it's something I've never seen him do. So
Oh, that's good. I'll have to track that down then. Okay.
Also watch the Crash films.
Mm.
But we have
this does
Crank.
seem
You
like
mean Crank?
Crank.
Yeah, Crash is a different emotion altogether.
Right. And which one? There's two, but this definitely seems to acknowledge the fact that they can't make many more of these with that aged cast. So let's introduce the new generation.
I mean, the next one better have someone in a wheelchair that's like got guns and can float and shit. Because I would love to see them just put their technology into making old men still be capable of fighting.
So from the old movies, we have Jason Statham, Dolph Lundgren, Randy Couture. Of course, we saw Sylvester Stallone, and then we've added Megan Fox, Tony Jaa, who is from the Ong Bak series.
Oh yeah, and he's in the Fast and Furious films.
Yeah, he's in the Fast and Furious.
His fighting style is one of the best.
We also saw Iko Uwais, who is from the Raid movies, which those are fantastic as well.
1 and 2, fucking
and then
amazing.
Levi Tran, I think she was the blonde. Let's see, who was in the MacGyver movies? Oh, and the MacGyver TV show. Okay, I'm not familiar with her stuff. But she was also in the first Purge, so hell yeah, Purge movies all the way.
Yeah, Purge. That first one's really great.
So, yeah, I mean, I'll probably end up watching it because I'm trash. And
what's sad is we're going to get in the same scenario where we're going to have these movies that are finished, and they're going to become huge because we're not going to get anything new.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, there's not going to be anything else for me to check out. So. Yeah,
Bad Boys 3 was the biggest moneymaker the year COVID hit.
That's true. I mean, that movie was okay. I thought it had pretty great action scenes.
I don't think I ever watched it.
So
I own the first two. I love those.
It's fine. I think the directors of they directed something else really cool afterwards. But anyway,
I'm just getting tired of we're in the Gen X age of like our action stars are old, so we're just going to tell old people stories. I get kind of tired of that.
Hey, old people need stories too.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, but don't make them too sad like Anthony Hopkins' father movie, because I won't watch that. That seemed way too depressing for me to watch.
Or, well, in the same vein, I was thinking, or the best old man comes out of retirement to do something badass is that movie with
we've seen that from Clint Eastwood and Unforgiven.
I'm thinking of God damn it, why am I blanking his name?
Old Man Logan.
Let's play charades.
No, it's the title is something like The Man Who Killed Hitler and Hunted Bigfoot, but it's
Sam. It's
Sam.
This is my favorite part.
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott, thank you. Yeah. And
this is my favorite part of the show, where we just sit for a few seconds trying to figure out a name.
Let's put those clips together. Of us
this is what the clips are going to show.
Right.
I'm gonna hire an editor just to do that for one show. Like, it's just gonna be a super.
We can afford an editor.
We can't. That's what's gonna be funny. We can't.
We're gonna have a GoFundMe for that.
But it's gonna be worth the bit. For my birthday, I'm just gonna ask for cash, and then it's gonna go towards that project.
Okay, I have another theory I just want to pitch before we end, because I keep thinking about how big Hugh Jackman is in Wolverine. If Deadpool makes him comic accurate and makes a tiny Wolverine, I would love that. Like because he's like 5'3", and I was like looking up. I go, what if they brought in Tom Cruise to play Wolverine? And I'm like, he's too tall.
I hope they do. No, he's not too tall. He's very short.
I know he's 5'7", but he's 4 inches taller than the comic accurate Wolverine.
They should do Lord of the Rings perspective type of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be such a funny joke if they do it at least once, where they they pan around. Like, maybe that's how they introduce him, and he looks very short, and then they finally we see that they're actually the same height. Anyways,
and it gives us another chance to see a live fastball special.
Oh yeah, which they've never done, have they?
They did it in one of the X-Men movies, but you only
Last
see
Stand.
Yeah, Last Stand. You just see him fling him in a circle, not the old school where
And just-
Colossus could pick him up and just
Yeah,
throw
you
him.
just over the.
Colossus throws him at close to the Phoenix, maybe, I think, to get there.
He
or a
throws him at
Magneto.
a Sentinel in the danger room and cuts the Sentinel's head
No,
off.
he
Just
also
the head-
throws him at Magneto to like poke him with the needles, right, to take his powers away.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
I think it's
I
been a
haven't
long
gone back
time
and
since I
watched
watched that one.
those, Yeah.
Anyways, we've gone on forever. I don't have any recommendations. I'm ready to end this show.
Yeah, let's just end it.
That's fine. I
Here's
can
my
say-
recommendation: don't be an asshole.
Don't wish for people to go homeless if you're a rich
Yes.
fan.
And also just get informed. Like, don't start canceling all your subscriptions and shit. Like, some of that stuff will still affect the writers and actors
Right.
negatively, because they do get some. Like, so just listen to what they. I think that's part of the plan in the future, like to ask for people to do that. But I don't think it is. It's not something that they need to happen right now.
Well, I mean, and just find ways to support them directly. I was joking
Yeah.
about Cameo earlier, but if you know, go if you have an actor or a writer that you like, go support them on
Support
Cameo.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do other stuff too. Some of them write comics, buy their comics.
Exactly. Yeah, good point. Oh, which totally random. Did you guys see the news that just hit that the actor that plays Ms.
Amanda
Marvel
Waller?
is going to be
Yeah.
co-writing the next Ms. Marvel comic?
Awesome.
Where she comes back from the dead as a mutant that we all knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah, they'll retcon it.
Marvel.
It's great.
I like how Marvel announces that literally the week the death of Ms. Marvel hits. So it's just, you know,
yeah,
so-
the fallen friend came out this week.
yeah. So it's just like let's totally undercut the purpose of this issue.
I didn't buy that issue specifically because I,
didn't
was not on board, and
I'm
they
not
didn't even
either.
have any like super cool covers. They were all. It's so weird that they put
Why'd they kill
so
her?
many people that have nothing to do with Kamala Khan on the cover with her.
I know. That's
They put the wrong
I,
Spider-Man.
I didn't read it. I don't
If
want
you're
to.
gonna kill a kid, that's some dark shit, man. Because I
Yeah.
mean, these books are mainly written for kids.
Well, it's all well and fine until the mid East Avengers blows up and starts Civil War. Those kids deserve to die. God damn it! So
Fuck Speedball.
except Speedball, yeah.
So look, none of the. I mean, other than Captain Marvel, I guess Wolverine does have a relationship with her a little bit.
Yeah, they had that cute issue in the sewers.
Well, when she started, he was also like a mentor figure, like in the
Right.
for a couple of issues. So,
yeah,
but everyone else, like, I don't know. Maybe I just haven't read enough Miss Marvel, but like, the wrong Spider-Man's on this. Like Miles. And
It
the
should be
Champions.
Miles, yeah.
It should be
Yeah.
Miles. It should be the Champions.
Champions.
That's why
Yeah.
Mark. So Mark Waid. I'll read. Oh shit. Here's my rant. I'll read the issue when it hits Marvel Unlimited because G. Willow Wilson did a story. Mark Waid did a story. Mamu. Oh, no. Who was the other writer? Shit. Oh, Ahmed. Shit. Anyway, I forget his name. But he. So anybody that's
that
working
gap
on-
of there.
yeah, you're right. Mark it down for the editor. But yeah. Anyways, all right. Whatever. I'm done with this show.
we broke Danny. Danny's just like, fuck it, I'm out.
I'm gonna go read comics. I'm gonna send you
Yeah.
guys a comic book. I just got the preview copy for the new That Texas Blood issue that's gonna take us into the past by Chris Condon and
Condon.
Jacob Phillips.
Nice.
Really good. I'm gonna send you guys that. So we'll talk about that when it comes out next month. All right. Anything else? No?
Nope.
Bye everyone.
The most important thing in life will always be the people in this room. Right here. Right now. Salute, mi familia. Salute.
Thanks everyone for watching.
loves you.
Oh yeah. Clay?
Hell, Bebo.
Josh, Simon Center, get the fuck out.